Alrighty, hopefully YouTube's working. And good afternoon, everyone. Here's a nice classic episode of myself and UDP talking about something or other related to BioWare or Mass Effect or Dragon Age or one of those topics. Yeah, it's fun. Always a joy to come back to the wonderful world of YouTube rambling. I guess I'm not sure what to call Shepard Gaming. That's the person we're checking out today, or rather the channel we're checking out today. Hard to say. I don't recall watching many of his videos. Obviously, he's a fan of Bioware. Many people are. So someone recommended we take a look at this one. And his third one, or rather his Mass Effect 3 one, is apparently worse. But any chance we get to take down a fanboy of the Mass Effect or Dragon Age series is always a fun time. So with me as always is UDP to talk about these things and whatever you guys say in chat about your favorite or not so favorite elements of Mass Effect 2. So the video we're covering today is called Why Mass Effect 2 is a Masterpiece, a Mass Effect 2 celebration and analysis 7 years later. So you can imagine how much fun this was for me to go through. I already watched it. But it's he's got his moments and he's not lying. He's just fanboying so hard. That's how it goes. So yeah.
I like all these 7 years later. Ever since Razorback did his little series of gaming
Yeah.
7 years later, everyone's now been copying that formula. So
Yeah, they have to get the references right. They got to get the quality right, all the insights and background information. He does a lot of work though. He puts a lot of effort into his videos. So
yeah, the thing is that sometimes he gets things wrong because he doesn't know or understand. Like there was a certain bit in Razorback's opening statement where this was the Mass Effect 3 one, sorry, where he said BioWare was tasked with making a Star Wars MMO, and I basically just went, "No, that's been around since 2005, mate." And I've actually got the proof right here of saying that BioWare was already in talks with LucasArts in 2007 about making a Star Wars themed MMO, and the makers of the engine, the Hero engine, Simultronics, they got licensed out to provide them with the engine in 2005. So unless EA has access to a time machine, no, BioWare was going to make an MMO either way.
yeah.
So it wasn't EA. EA actually saved. But funnily enough, actually, as much as we give shit to EA, which they do deserve, EA actually saved Dragon Age because Dragon Age was in development since 2002, and they saved Star Wars: The Old Republic by cannibalizing Mythic Entertainment into the project as well, because Warhammer Online basically went shits up daisies. So yeah, you can thank EA for Dragon Age Origins.
Yay.
So is that a good thing? I don't know.
I think was Dragon Age Origins in development for like 7 or 8 years or something
Yeah,
ridiculous like that. Yeah.
yeah, it was on the Aurora engine originally.
Wow.
Not Aurora. Not was Aurora engine the Neverwinter Nights engine? I forget.
I think so. It was an upgrade from that. I can't remember the name of it, but
Well, originally you can actually go look back in 2002, and you can actually find the original screenshots of Dragon Age way back when. It got rebooted so many times.
yeah, Mike Laidlaw was like pulling his hair out. That's why he's
Oh yeah, then he had to work on Jade Empire as well. Did he work on Jade Empire?
I
Yeah,
think
he
he
did.
did. Yeah, but that's one of the I guess the dark horse. What do you call Jade Empire? Kind of the
It was the
silent.
unfortunate. It was the unfortunate one because it came at the end of the life of the first Xbox, so it didn't sell particularly well, despite it being a really good game. Yeah, so it's like, oh damn! If they would have saved it for the next generation, like the Xbox 360, it would have done pretty well, I
I
reckon.
think yeah, a lot of people were asking me to back in the day even cover Jade Empire. Take a look. I never have. It never really appealed to me, but everyone's saying it's got a great story. It's got decent gameplay. It's like the next step up from KOTOR. They got some of the not well, no, they didn't get facial animations right. They got the voice acting right.
Hmm.
They got some of the characters right. I thought, okay, it looks decent, but it never appealed to me. Maybe it was the Asian setting. Maybe it was the dialogue. I don't know. I just never. There was no hook for me to want to play it.
Yeah,
So
it was also the ground basis for a lot of influence in Mass Effect. Like, the Paragon and Renegade system is actually derived from the Jade Empire system, which was altruism versus self-reliance. That's what Paragon and Renegade is, at least in the original, is that Paragon is about more altruistic and Renegade is more independent, and that's reflected in the ending of ME1. If you obviously save the counselors, they basically say that either humanity is a grand defender or a fiercely stubborn group of people. Paraphrasing obviously, but. And then it just turned into a big gimmick. Then Renegade turned into a big gimmicky kind of, I'm going to shove this dude out a window. Yeah, Renegade.
Yeah, and finally, they actually did some change up to Dragon Age. Kind of like an experiment on the whole dialogue wheel system. It's like, wait a second, we should have other options aside from good or bad. Come on. It's like, how about jerk? How about I don't give a shit? How about whatever the hell we want? We'll call that purple. It's like, okay, we'll just make sarcasm, jerk, I don't give a shit, opportunist, hawk, purple hawk. Yeah, it was fantastic. So yeah. Anyway, let's get started. We got 60 minutes to go, and it probably won't take that long for I'd say maybe an hour or two tops for us to go through this. But depends on how involved chat becomes. But I doubt they're not huge Mass Effect fans because it's like a 7-year-old. What is it? No, 8-year-old. No, it's at least an old. Yeah, at least 8 years. 2012 since Mass Effect 3 came out. Unless, well, I don't think anyone's really excited about Andromeda all this time. So. Probably not. Anyway, well, at least not watching my channel. So.
Atmosphere, story, characters. These are the 3 core pillars that made Mass Effect 2 the nostalgic icon that it is.
Okay, that's interesting. Atmosphere. Atmosphere can mean many things. When you're talking about a movie, there's all the elements of setting and visuals and audio and sound and voice acting. Like it's all these things, the feeling you get from everything. And you can get that from reading a book. You can get that from a stage production, a really well put together one. So it's interesting because I do like the vibe, the feeling, the sound, the aesthetic of the first Mass Effect. When you get to the second one, it's a lot different. And it's almost a copy of the first, and then they just darken it. And
yeah, they changed the lighting engine. That was it.
Yeah, well, even the settings with Troisi's style, with the cinematic framing of all the characters and dialogue, that sort of changes things up. Because when you look at the first game, it does have the cinematic quality, but it's very like KOTOR-ish. It's very like shot, other shot profile, back and forth. That's all it is, with a few other character animations for this or that. But very different from Atmosphere from the first game. Here we got from John Lemley. Thank you, sir. Mass Effect 2 review, 0 out of 10, not enough sentient water. Oh, you're still reading up on my previous Smudcast. We had a really weird TED talk about some lady who wanted to make water a sentient legal entity.
Was that rivers or something like that?
Apparently that is a thing. They did it with India. They did it with 3 other lakes in the world, which is bizarre as hell, like Lake Simcoe. I think Ohio made it a legal entity, which is, I don't know what that means. I was reading up on it when my stream is over. I still don't get it, what that does.
As opposed to an illegal entity. Hey, that river's not supposed to be there.
I don't know.
We're going to find that river. It's illegal. We're going to deport it.
Yeah. So the second element here is story. And you're saying story, you mean everything. You mean characters, you mean dialogue, you mean setting. You may as well just say story.
It's stories. There is no story in Mass Effect 2. It's multiple.
It's there's all kinds of through lines, all kinds of characters. They have all kinds of plots. And you can like Garrus over Tali or this or that. That's fine, but you just can't shove like, here's 20 characters. They're amazing. Therefore, Mass Effect 2 is great. It's like, no, you measure them for what they're worth to the main story. And virtually all of them are disposable, which is kind of the point of Mass Effect 2. It's a suicide mission, which has to continue on to the next game. So everyone has to be disposable. That's the point. But you have to try really hard to make them die, which is fine, which is kind of funny. It's just
yeah, you have to be grossly incompetent, like purposely negligent to get everyone killed. It's a task to get everyone killed.
Yeah. Do you want to play 40%? No, 30% of the game? There you go. That's how you do it. I'd say less. It's probably less than that. With all those crazy DLC packs and side missions, you just skip all of that.
These are the three core pillars that made Mass Effect 2 the nostalgic icon that it is. My name is Keanu Miller, and today I'm going to talk about why Mass Effect 2 is a masterpiece.
So we have to know what he means by masterpiece. Obviously, he just means it's a great thing. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It's this pinnacle of art. We've heard that when it came out. It's like, okay. And that's kind of what prompted this channel. I got pissed off with all these highfalutin words. It's just a video game. It's a sequel. And it's a big departure from the original. That's all it is. Some people like the departure. Some people like the additions.
Yeah, it's very divisive when like a sequel changes a lot of, well, at least from the actual what people were expecting from the first game. You know, like the ending of the first game was Shepard saying that I'm going to find a way to try and stop the Reapers, and then when you play through the end of Mass Effect 2, you're like, oh wait, I was supposed to do something, wasn't it? And then Mass Effect 3's hilarious intro when Shepard's just like, stop them? How am I supposed to stop them?
Yeah. Well, I always see it to like imagine watching Empire Strikes Back, and the lightsabers now have a power source that turn off every 20 minutes or 20 seconds. It's like, whoa, like you just changed the lore of lightsabers in Star Wars. That's what Mass Effect did to their guns and their gameplay. And it irked me. I was like, wait a second, where's my amazing frictionless materials? You know,
Right.
my infinite ammo assault rifle. Where did they go?
Oh, that was great. That felt like such a badass feeling at the end game when you got Friction Materials X and you got your Spectre assault rifle and you're just going ham on absolutely everything.
Yeah, like imagine
like-
Star Trek in I don't know, season 3 where it gets good in the next generation, and it's like, oh yeah, phasers they only have a stun setting and they work off popcorn and butter. You're like, what? Why? That's
Oh yeah.
stupid.
By the way, the enemies drop, even though the enemies like using disruptors and their own phaser banks and things like that, but they drop the same ammunition as you.
Yeah, and everyone has replicators, but you can't replicate ammo for some stupid reason. You have to pick it up. It's just like, what are you doing? No one figured this out. We have what are they? Micro machines that can build anything, microfabrication machines on our arm. But we can't make ammo or heat things, whatever the hell it is.
Well, ever since they got rid of the Second Amendment in Mass Effect, they can't do these things.
Gun restrictions, guys. The evil Geth made guns too deadly. It's like, what? We'll just use the old guns. That's okay. We'll use the old ones. All right, leave us alone.
The assault ammunition ban of 2021 or something like that.
You can only use it on site. You can't bring your own ammo to your gun party, guys.
Yeah, the ammunition has to be kept in specifically the sword area, away from the gun. You know, at least 20 minutes apart.
And you can't buy guns at stores. They don't have guns at stores.
Yeah.
You have to provide the blueprint, and then they will ship you a possible design.
Yeah, it's like they ship you the blueprint, and you have to go out and mine the materials. It's like, no, you're not a store.
I can do this on my own.
This is a patent office.
Great design choice there, BioWare. Fantastic. Gun store selling guns. What are you crazy? Notice how the Cerberus logo, Cerberus, a masterpiece. Okay.
Oh, they're certainly a master of something.
Cerberus, master. Yeah, okay.
Oh, do you remember that bit where Casey Hudson was talking about? It was on the Ars Technica thing, and he actually said that Cerberus had the ability to make lots and lots of ships. And it's just like, why didn't you solve the collector problem if you had the capacity to make a freaking armada?
Can you imagine the thought process of this super smart guy has all the information in the universe. He's like, you know what we need? We need Shepard. Sir, he's dead, and we could hire like the best guys ever. Like the best. We could build our own ships. Okay. That would go. We've stolen all these plans from the Alliance. We can make the best ship ever. He's like, no, you don't understand. We need Shepard. Like, sir, wait, just hold that thought. We can get this done in 2 weeks, okay? What you're asking for will take possibly never. We've never brought someone back from the dead before, okay? Yeah, but Shepard's a symbol. It's like, okay, here's an idea. All right, think of this. We get a guy who looks just like Shepard. We get some plastic surgery. We make him exactly like Shepard. We say he never died. How's that? It's like, no. We want the real Shepard. The real Shepard's a pile of atoms strewn throughout the atmosphere of a planet of ammonia and nitrogen. Not much left of him, sir.
Yeah. We used a dustbuster to gather the remains of Shepard.
But no, then Miranda walks in. Don't worry, it's just a matter of resources. It's like, what? Who the hell is this chick? Like, what does she know about immortality and rebirth? Like,
it's like if, let's say, Shepard got into a firefight where the Collectors got hit by a beam, and they were like, regular medicine couldn't cure, couldn't heal the wound or whatever because of the effect of the particle beams that the Collectors use or something. And then Cerberus is just like, no, we've been studying these guys secretly for quite a while because we've got some of their technology and we're the only ones that have the capacity to heal you. Then yeah, you're going to use them.
Yeah, there's a big jump in tech when you go from Gauss technology, which is essentially what Mass Effect is, the accelerating a particle really quickly through a rail, through whatever technological means, and particle weaponry is a massive jump in tech.
Oh yeah. Shields wouldn't work at all. Like, shields would be completely useless in that.
Particles would just, you're talking about subatomic elements going rip-roaring faster than a Gauss technology. It is amazingly on another level. So if mankind ever gets to that, which I doubt I'll see in my lifetime, there's going to be weapons bans like you would not believe. Something that travels at near the speed of light that can annihilate anything it hits. It's crazy. So anyway, yeah, we have all this. Oh, we have particle weaponry. It's like, what? We have a handheld particle weapon? Are you crazy? It's like, yep. And then they changed the cane in Mass Effect 3 to a really slow moving missile.
Yeah, it goes like, what was it, 4 kilometers a second or something like that.
It went from it went from sublight to like, oh, there it is. I can see it. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, it went like a firecracker.
Like a firecracker. And like 10 seconds later, boom. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like most rockets today, like if you fire like an anti-tank rocket, it moves at like 400 meters per second. It moves pretty quickly because it has to hit the target very quickly. It
has an amazing thing called thrust.
Yeah.
Lots of fuel.
I like the way of like how the Reapers, like in Mass Effect 3, don't have shields at all. Like they just don't have shields. It's like they just turn them all off. Yeah, we've got perfect armor. Even though that disruptor torpedo in Mass Effect 1 completely blew a massive gigantic hole in it.
Yeah, armor is completely useless in the Mass Effect world when you have objects that travel as fast as they do.
Yeah. it's like
Citadel.
Shields.
Boom! Toast. They're just gone. Everything's dead in the Citadel. Lasers. Yeah. What happened to lasers? Like, we forgot. We don't care. We talk about lasers. I know the Geth have lasers, but we don't really care.
Geth have plasma. I think it's like pulse plasma weaponry or something like that.
They have amazing tech. It's like, it's just comparable. It's all comparable. It's all the same.
I like the way of how like the Geth had the thermal heat sinks, but they use plasma-based technology while everyone else is using like Mass Effect railgun technology. It's like plasma, railgun, different things, right? There's a reason why they probably had to have magazines or clips or whatever you want to call them. And yet, why are we adopting plasma-based weaponry? What's going on?
Then you have that ancient relic weapon from Javik's mission. It's like, it's a regenerating energy. Like, what is this thing? I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
We just keep using it. It's great. It's just like our other assault rifle, only it doesn't have ammo. It's like, what? Are we regressing? What's happening? Anyway, let's keep going.
The Mass Effect trilogy stands as an incredible achievement in storytelling. Okay. So when trying to single out the best part of the trilogy, it can be a difficult task. But as so many passionate fans will tell you, while not flawless, Mass Effect 2 is...
lighting is awful.
Yeah, it's like...
That's really bad lighting effect there.
It's like we forgot to actually light the scene. We use ambient lighting, but we put it all the way up at the top of the corridor. It's like, that's great. Thanks. Spotlights are great when they're on something. Fantastic. Yeah.
Strongest part of the trilogy. Few fans will tell you it is not the best part, and next to none will tell you it's a bad game. After the success of Mass Effect 1 and the extremely positive fan and critical reception, the hype surrounding Mass Effect 2 was very high. BioWare was given a high budget and enough time to where they spared no expense, and this shows in their final product.
Yeah, that lighting there is fake. I mean, I kind of like it because it's on Omega, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
No expense.
I think
And this
the time budget for Mass Effect 2 was it was 2 years and 6 months, I think is what they had.
It was a tight ship. Yeah, they actually, like, that's what I liked about production of the title. They got all the right people involved, well, to get the job done at least.
Yeah.
And they delivered on time. I don't think, was there a delay? I don't even think there was a delay on this game.
No, the only one that had the delay in the trilogy was Mass Effect 3, which had was it a 6-month delay or something? It was originally going to be November 2012, and then it got pushed back to November 2011, and then it got pushed back to March 2012.
That was, I remember the 3/6/13? What was the release date? Mass Effect 3. Trying to remember that. Crazy.
Something like
It was March the 6th, 2012. There it was. Yeah, so it was like 3/6/12. That was the magical date advertisement. It was like, ooh, it looks cool. Like, okay. It's just a date.
shows in their final product. Today we are focusing on those three pillars that stand true in all of the Mass Effect trilogy, but Mass Effect 2 executes each of them to the T. Let's start out with an aspect that is vital in creating an interesting universe: atmosphere. Atmosphere in Mass Effect 2 is impossible to miss. The locations, the music, the colors, and much more was done with so much care and passion that every location you visit in the game feels like it could really exist.
You know, I kind of missed the synth wave music from the first game. It gave it a very distinct feel, very distinct sound.
Like kind of 80s, because it was kind of like based around like Empire Strikes Back, Blade Runner, and the original Alien and things like that. And that had a very distinctive style to it, didn't they? So.
Yeah, and we walking around the Citadel, it's a huge place. Like, it's big, and you get lost. You want to keep talking to people, find out what's going on. In Mass Effect 2, everything's kind of, I wouldn't say small. It feels big, but it's like there's not much where else. There's not much to go. There's not much to do. It's all focused. Like, here is a DLC. Here is a character mission. Here is a random N7 mission. It's all very tight. So good for writing, good for making concise little episodic stories, but nothing to explore. There's no missions. You just go off in the galaxy and do stuff. You have to wait for the mission to pop up on your terminal, and then okay, then you can go and check it out.
Oh, and Tim tells you to.
Yeah, time to go do something. It's like, thanks, Tim. Why? Resources. You need resources.
It's like just Tim just like laying back there, like Doritos everywhere, and just like, I need to look like I'm doing something. Shepard, here's some dossiers. Yeah, there you go.
You need some palladium, Shepard. Get some palladium for your warp core thing. Well, what? Yeah, okay, go.
Yes, the comments about how Mass Effect is not an open world RPG is constantly brought up, and that is true. But what BioWare did was focus on not making a shallow ocean, but rather a deep pond.
No.
What are you talking about?
They made a shallow puddle, is what they made with Mass Effect 2.
And it's
like
a
pretty puddle.
Yeah, and all you're doing is jumping from puddle to puddle. It's like, oh, what? Something unlocked. Time to go to that puddle. It's like, yay. And some of the level design is good. Some of the tally mission's great.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
One
tally mission is
Taystrom, I think.
Yes.
Therum or Taystrom. Fantastic mission. Love the level design. It was flawed as hell with all the points with the Vanguard charge popping up. You get stuck on so many corners. But good idea, mediocre execution. So lots of great ideas in level design, but again, not very big.
What I mean by that is BioWare created such a strong atmosphere through their use of hub worlds, the method of travel between the hub worlds, and the mission locales.
I don't think so. I don't think the hub worlds were that big.
No, it was like literally a 2-minute walk from one to the other side of the other, and that was about it. It became more of an inconvenience when because they had to do so many things in these small hub worlds. Everything felt like, okay, now you got to do Liara's mission. Then you got to do the Fane mission. Then you got to do. So you're going constantly back and forth to the same locations. And just like, goodness sake, I'm not progressing. It's not like Pharos where you do the Pharos stuff and you do everything on Pharos and then it's done. Pharos is done. You're constantly revisiting back worlds, and you're like, I'm tired of looking at Ilium.
Yeah,
I'm tired
Ilium you're constantly going to. Sometimes you're back at the Citadel, and then you're at Omega once in a while.
Yeah.
And it feels like, oh, I'm just a go-getter. I just have to go here to get that. Go there to do this. And then someone comes to you, oh, we have to go back to whatever because my son is part of some gang. It's like, okay, let's go back.
It's like,
could have told me that while we were there first time. I didn't trust you then. It's like, well,
The hub worlds are created with such complexity and such strong tones.
complexity? God, come on. It's just what's
it's a map.
There's levels, there's staircases, they're complex. Oh my God.
Someone understands the Unreal Engine.
Yeah, it's like, wow, look at the complex architecture. It's like, okay, staircases. Yeah, fantastic.
Entirely unique and individual in their look and feel. Omega,
yeah, they look different. That's fine. But
it just
Ilium,
yeah, it's like everything. Like all what happened is just that BioWare just made their art department slightly bigger, and that's it.
The design of Ilium is nothing special. It's a bunch of platforms that connect to each other. Omega, maybe. The Presidium, not really. They're not large enough to constitute level design. They're not combat oriented. There's no exploration. Yeah. You're just walking around. Like when we talk about large worlds, that's why you needed the Mako to get around in them. It was so big. If you were to walk around, it would take forever.
Yeah, it's like goldfish. It's like being a goldfish in a goldfish bowl. Is the best way I can describe it, just off the top of my head. It's like this goldfish has a castle in it. This goldfish bowl has a treasure thing in it. And it's like this one has a diamond. It's like, oh right, okay. Doesn't make it unique, I guess. It's like it's pretty, but what can I do with these things? Not a lot. And then the worst thing about it is the repeatability. That when you go back to play these games, is that the problem at Mass Effect 2, at least for me, is once you remove that layer of atmosphere, you can see like the mechanical undertones really right there, and it's so jarring because you're just like, oh, I got to go over that. Oh, I've got to go do. Oh no, I've got to do that mission now. You're just slumping back in your chair.
Yeah, and the quests in these stories are pretty typical RPG stuff. I think one of them was the Rose of Ilum. You have to go decide whether or not this couple is going to be a couple or not, which I think gets carried over to the third game. The guy dies regardless.
Yes.
So, there's the whole point of this game series was your choices are supposed to amount to something. So having all these little quests that are like Mickey Mouse quests, like go get this for that, is not something Shepard should be doing. He does not care. He should not care. This would be like the B team or the cleanup crew or like the Alliance. I don't know. Maybe if Ashley was, or what I think it was Caden, he had a team before. If Caden had a storyline, like that would be what he would be doing, helping people out, doing the little things. That would make sense. This should have been, holy crap, everyone's going to die. I got to focus on the really big things. And you could argue the collectors are a big thing, but they're a means to an end. They're like, we need information on the Reapers, and it leads us nowhere. So
that actually reminds me of one of the missions in Mass Effect 1 where you have that is it the brother and sister arguing over the genetic modification of the child or something like that?
Yeah, the first game.
Yeah, and the funny thing is though is even though that was only one bit, it's like, why are you asking Shepard? Shepard's not a doctor or a genetic engineer or anything like that. It's like we've got a doctor on the ship. We can call her.
Yeah.
we can use her.
What do you think, doctor, about using genetic modification? What do you think? What's big deal? No big deal? What do you?
Yeah, what's the long-term implications on that?
Yeah.
And
Plus
then,
the background of Ashley Williams. She got was it in vitro fixing her? Was it far sight or near sight she had?
I think she was nearsighted. Yeah.
Yeah, and they fixed that, so it's like no big deal. Like that was obviously after genetic manipulation, but she's already born, or in the process of being born. But they have these medical breakthroughs already. So is it a big argument in the future where you can design babies make them healthier and better? Why not? It's an advantage. Go for it. It's not like a Wrath of Khan level of eugenics wars. Where, they're gonna.
We've accidentally turned up the arrogance gene to 11.
It's like they're gonna start a eugenics war because they're smarter than their daddies. It's like, wow, Dad, I'm not listening to you anymore. I can compute pi to the 10,000th degree. Like, okay.
William, the Citadel, and Tuchanka are the four.
Tuchanka was not a hub world.
It was in the sense of a rubble world. I mean, there was a few things. Obviously, you got like what's his face now, Grunt, and I've forgotten the Solarian scientist.
Malian.
Yeah, that's the guy who you're chasing after. I forgot the dude that he had on board. I've completely forgotten his name. It's the Solarian scientist that you acquire on Omega. I've forgotten his name. I can't believe I've forgotten it.
Solarian scientist.
Yeah, the one that you acquired, the one that has the technology.
Oh, Morden.
Morden, thank you.
I thought you meant like some NPC. I was like, oh shit, I have no idea.
No, that's what I mean. It completely dropped out of my mouth. Like it begins with an M, but Malin's the one that he's going after. I'm like, it begins with an M because he's got the plot device that ends up turning to be completely useless in the end when you actually think about it.
What I remember of Tuchanka, there's the dog fights, and then there was that crazy scientist who wanted to blow stuff up. And of course Rex on his throne. That was it. That's like,
oh yeah.
I can't think of any other things to do there. I mean, obviously there were quests and missions, but it's like it wasn't much of a hub world to me.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Like when people think of a hub, it's really more of a location where things connect off to one another. I think that's all what they mean by a hub. It's not like I guess like with Mass Effect 1, it was more like you started off at Ferros and then you talk to all the other people to then get all the side quests, which you then do en route. So it's more like a kind of dropping things off and then you report back. Like that's how it was kind of done. And with the exception of Ferrum, actually, Ferrum was just getting Liara, wasn't it? Then you had Novaria and all that kind of stuff. But with these ones, it just, once again, it's this kind of you're treading on ground all over again. It's like, gotta have to go back to the Citadel, gotta have to go back to Ferrum, gotta have to go back to that place. Because especially when you're on the other side of the bloody galaxy, you have to go to the bloody galaxy map, hit the button. It's just, can't I just tell Joker, kind of go, Joker, right, just go on the URL and just type in Novaria, please, or Ferrum, and just go there, please.
Yeah, I have to manually input the entire course to go somewhere every time. It's like Joker would know how to do this blindfolded. Like, why are we bothering with Shepard doing this?
Yeah.
Shepard, fly the ship. It's like, why? Yeah, pilot. That's the one thing I always was like, give us dogfighting, give us space combat, give us something RTS. If you're going to make a map, do something with it. No, you get to explore. Then all of a sudden in Mass Effect 3, you get to run away from Reapers, and then you lose. It's game over. You're like, what?
Yeah. The Reaper, it's like stealth drive. It's like, I remember people like, the stealth drive still works in ME3 though. It's like they're literally following you on that. They've literally come from a different sector to hound your bottom. I think they can see through the stealth system. Now, if the stealth system, if let's say we were going into areas like, for example, the side quest missions, and the stealth had a gauge to which filled up the more we explored around, and then it broke, and then the Reapers went, oh shit, there they are. That would make sense because it fits in with how
that would be
works.
Really cool, because you'd have like a thermal gauge, the more engines you'd use, and then you'd have like coasting where you'd burn your fuel and you just coast on the drift, and you want to turn like, but that would involve actual physics. You'd have to code that, and it would take all this effort. And
yeah.
too much work, man. You can't do basic physics like vector math. Like, come on, that's
On a 2D plane.
acceleration constant. Oh my god, can't do that.
hub world you visit in Mass Effect 2. When looking at these hub worlds in depth, each hub world is similar in what they contain, but drastically different in their art style. Each hub world contains marketplace-like centers, residential areas, and of course, what every sci-fi location.
That is a shot of Mass Effect 3's DLC Citadel.
Yes, unfortunately.
So no.
Still the same flame effects from Omega though.
Yeah.
Because they have to reuse a lot, don't they?
So nice try, but we know what that is, sir. So.
I've seen that pillar before.
Needs nightclubs.
Welcome to Afterlife. How may I serve you?
Right, okay. These nightclubs, at least with Flux, you could actually do gambling in there. And Cora's Den, at least there was something else. I mean, obviously, you're looking at pretty blue ladies, but at least there was something there. Like, it was just one little thing, whereas this one's like, we have to have a dance floor in every place. It's like, okay, what can we do there? Can I do gambling? Can I do other things? No, absolutely none. Okay, I'm just going to hit dance and get drunk with all my armor and gear and guns on.
Yeah, a lion soldier running around with guns. Just, let's dance. Like, why?
It's like, Spectres can run around with guns all they want, but Shepard can choose not to be a Spectre, which means that he can't be roaming around with a flipping nuclear weapon on his back.
I can tear a hole in this space station with one shot. Like, oh.
Yeah, Shepard's kind of lost his mind a little bit. We better do what he says. Hey, you ever wonder about... It's like, I've already died once. I might die again soon.
I can't wait. Who wants to find out?
Oh, Shepard's dancing.
In reference to the differing...
way better though.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm glad they make it. I'm glad they make a joke about it, though. At least they incorporate it.
But Femshep's dancing in ME1 was way better. She actually like danced, and you could actually dance with the guy who's in charge of Flux as well, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, and Ashley does a similar one, I believe.
Yeah, and Liara as well, actually.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, they switched them up, and then they made fun of the one that he's just moving his head and on the spot. It's not a bad dance, but whatever. People don't like it. Okay.
Art style, Omega is the red city built by criminals and mercenary gangs on an asteroid that is very much inspired by Blade Runner.
I think the entire series is inspired by Blade Runner, but okay.
Yes.
See, this makes sense because it's the Mass Effect fields. Things are flying in space. Perfect. Makes perfect sense. I'm glad the aesthetic works with the technology.
Ilium is a beautiful blue and purple city that looks just like a high-class location, but is also discovered to be just as full of corruption as Omega.
That's because it's outside of council space. That's why it's full of corruption and places like that. It's like, do people not read the law? Am I the only sad git that actually reads things in there?
Mass Effect 2 is like the dark side of the game. It's the dark horse of Mass Effect. It's like, okay. It's so dark. We turned off all the lights.
The Citadel, the original hub world from Mass Effect 1, while much smaller here than in the other games, is still a very high-tech location and can be seen as a melting pot of all the cultures that exist in the series.
Wow, it's so dark. It's like the Citadel, but darker. Okay.
Yeah, this is the thing that I don't understand. Like, I was mentioning this to you a while back, but it's like there's no actual evolution in terms of the militaristic presence on board the Citadel. Like, they always talk about how they've increased security, but there's no military checkpoints. There's no increase of the militarization of the CSEC forces or anything like that. These guys have just had a massive Geth invasion, for crying out loud. These guys would be armored up to hell, in case another event like that would be happening. They wouldn't be roaming around and flipping, BDUs or whatever. They'd be heavily armored, armed up, and ready to go.
Yeah, they would have bans on all AI or any type of robot assistant, anything like they say, oh, you can't bring in your AI assistants. Like, what?
Yeah.
No, this is just a Geth that looks like a. No, he's not really a Geth. He's just sort of, we like the
Would-
Geth because
Wouldn't it be really funny? Like, how like the Geth in the first game could like compact up. Like, imagine just went Legion suitcase mode. Whoop.
right,
You know?
right. Yeah, the hoppers or whatever they were. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Legion, just pack up, please, for me, mate. It's just and you sneak him on board that way. That'd be really funny. Just Transformers in.
Let's go. That would be great. You just put them on your back.
Yeah.
Fourth
I love
squad
that.
mate. Fantastic. Yeah, everything's
like-
so dark.
It's like this all looks cool, but it's a big empty room of nothing. There's no interaction. There's nothing there to do other than just to kind of go, hey, it's a place that you can visit.
Yeah, look at the atmosphere. It's like, yeah, there's lots of soft lights and dark tones, but there's nothing here.
It's not a point of interest. It's like Flux had something going on. Like, remember you had the guy with the recorder thing where he was like kind of cheating, and you can like give it to the dude who owns it, or you can actually like use it to cheat the system.
Right.
To get more grades. There was places of interest to do that, and obviously there was a few other things as well that you could find out. Like you got the two sisters, whereby one's working in Koro's den and one was working in Flux as well. So there was things to do. You could talk to people. I thought that was cool. But
It reminds me of like an animation student's demo reel. It's just visuals. It looks cool. Look at this amazing room I designed. Look at all these futuristic cars. Look at this potential game level. It's like, yeah, it looks great. But you can't use it. You can't do anything. So
it's a billboard.
It's a fancy looking room with lights and maybe some particle effects. That's all. Yeah, it looks good. Bravo. That's all. You don't need to be here.
Tuchanka, the great homeworld of the Krogan, and of course Rex. This hubworld has a very brown color tone to it, which fits perfectly with the setting, considering a nuclear war had fallen out on this homeworld.
Yeah, it's just rubble. This is the level, the rubble level.
Yeah, this is the Gears of War level. We inspired by brown, slight grey, brown, a bit more brown, fire, and darker brown.
Even the fight with the sand or whatever worm it's called, I can't remember.
The Threshermaw.
The Threshermaw, yeah. You're basically in a coliseum, like a tiny coliseum. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but Mass Effect 1, you're riding around in the Mako, wondering where the hell that thing's going to pop up from, and you're like, ah!
That was cool. Yeah, this is like, it's an actual mission.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Moving on from the hub worlds, BioWare continues their strong focus on atmosphere of space and exploration with the very iconic galaxy map music, and the minigame of exploring it all in a small version of your ship, the Normandy.
This is not a mini game. This is called exploring the map or using the map, which is completely unnecessary. It's silly. Why do you need a toy ship flying around with fuel and whatever?
Yeah, right. It's actually funny because the Mass Effect world, they do actually use fuel, but it's very different. It's like if the Alliance can supply the Normandy with enough fuel that they don't need to be refueled, then how come if Cerberus is capable of resurrecting a dead dude and providing things like that, but it's like, oh yeah, but we can't pay for your gas. What? It's like that doesn't make any sense. Why you just bill me? I never understood that.
I know they're trying to make gameplay elements work. Like you have to use fuel, burn it, charge up again to fly back. It's like, okay, fine. But was this really necessary? And every time I look, I say, no, this is kind of silly. This is not even a game. It's just, do you have enough fuel units to get from A to B? Then you can go.
Yeah, it should just be a range factor in terms of what they could have done was the static build-up. How far can you jump around before you need to discharge it in a planet that's capable of actually taking out the static charge of your thing. And obviously, the more you wait in certain missions, then you can have like a time scale to it all. So there you go. Weave the exploration into, because like this is supposed to be like you hunting down the collectors and where they are. So you need to have something that kind of goes like, right, I can do this, that, the other. I've only got so much time. I've got my stealth drive. I've got my, which is completely useless, by the way, because the collectors can just see through it. But whatever, what the fuck. But we've got the static drive, so we can only go to, let's say, 3 planets here before we have to go to that planet to make a discharge. And there you go. You don't need fuel. Just lore.
Know the lore. Yeah, and there's another element of the actual mini game, which is the probes, which was so much fun. It's mining, it's probing, it's. I don't know what you call that mini game. It was just not very fun. It was boring and slow. And for whatever reason, people decided to mine the entire galaxy.
Yeah, just strip mine the entire location. Like you're gonna have like colonists landing on planets. Like we have excavated this. What the hell is the holes? All these probes like just around. The probing thing. At least for Mass Effect 1 was simple. It's like Shepard found a deposit. What does Shepard do? I'm going to plant a flag that's now mine that indicates that's the Alliance, and then the Alliance ship is going to come on over and excavate it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just have it so it's like, okay, Cerberus, I'm getting materials for Cerberus. I plant a flag, Cerberus gets more resources, and then I get a siphoned offer from, let's say, the funds from selling those resources or new technologies that they managed to get from it. Jeez Louise.
I'm not sure what Keemstar Leafy 2020 means, but thanks for the super chat, Brady. I don't know.
I think this is like some internet e-drama or something like that.
I guess so. Yeah, I think that's a few months ago. But anyway, yeah, the mini game of probing in Mass Effect 2 is definitely one of the lesser points of the Mass Effect 2 experience. Let's just say.
No, don't do it.
No, scanning is not the greatest thing ever.
No.
Honestly, this was awful on a mouse and keyboard, right? Because you had to hold the right mouse button and then do the panning up and down constantly. So it was carpal tunnel simulator. This was designed for a controller, which is fine. It's designed for PlayStation, Xbox 360, and then obviously later on PlayStation 3. But as a PC user, I detested this thing. Like, oh yeah.
But you get an upgrade, so it moves like 0.2% faster or whatever it was.
It was 50% faster, but still though, it was like I could feel my arms locking up after a while. It's awful.
Yeah. All to get some Element 0 or whatever it was.
Element 0, the hardest material actually to get in the Mass Effect universe because it requires highly specialized machinery that's incredibly expensive. Only a few corporations in the galaxy have access to this technology to extract it. It comes from that of dead stars. But meanwhile, on the other hand, we just have a freaking probe that can just get it from the ground.
Generic probe can mine anything.
What are we doing with these materials? Sniffing them?
Launch onto planet, entire mining rig operation complete. Like, what?
Make probe go now.
We should use this technology for everything. They just launched it at the Reapers, start mining the Reapers, tearing them apart. Amazing. They just probe the shit out of the Reapers just to start tearing them apart. That'd be great.
Lost in the background music while doing so. A lot of games will have levels that feel as if they are only designed as a game level and not as a real and livable location. BioWare does a good job in this aspect as well, by making
really hallways, really big long hallways are livable.
Chest high walls. I can't move for chest high walls in my house at the
moment. My living conditions require me to crouch and be hidden from fire, and they're indestructible. Most of them are indestructible walls. These super powered weapons, like, no, point, you're fine. if everything was destructible, that'd be different. That'd be way cooler. I'd be really impressed if you can
Imagine
blow
if
away.
imagine if piercing actually went through walls, which you can do in the Unreal Engine. Like there's games that have had like, we've had like what penetration since like what?
Red Faction had it.
Yeah, it's crazy. You just need to put in the effort. It's Yep.
That would have solved so many. Imagine all the problems with getting stuck in the ground with Vanguard Charge. No problem. Pull out your gun, shoot it. You're fine.
Vanguard Charge was such a law-breaking mechanic. Fun, but law-breaking.
That's the if I were to play Mass Effect 2 for any, or even Mass Effect 3, multiplayer at least, Vanguard is the most fun because you get to do crazy things. And melee is kind of stupid in Mass Effect 2, but they made it fun in multiplayer Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
So
if Vanguard actually just changed it from a biotic attack to I'm a dude with a jetpack that's going to assault in there like a goddamn space marine, then yeah, I'd be fine with that. That's cool. It makes sense. Like in what was that game now? Vanquish. Like he's just like got rocket boosters all over him, and he's like power slides and stuff. That'd be brilliant. Like Shepard power slide and giving a Krogan a nut shot. Like uppercuts a Krogan in the nuts.
that would be neat. They have the cutscene. They have the cutscene power the max with biotics all the time, whether it's Liara or Jack or whatever that biotic bubble babe in Mass Effect 3 was doing. I don't know what the hell she was doing. Like she's blocking this ridge. I don't know why she's blocking the fire. They just hide behind a chest high wall, but nope, they got to keep that bubble up. It's like, all right.
Yeah. This bubble that's only around about like 3 meters by 3 meters, but keep in mind the enemy are using missiles which can go over your head and take you out from the back because it's indirect fire. But don't worry, we're gonna do this thing. Fine.
Making sure that all the locations you visit, even just for a mission or for a conversation, feel like they would exist regardless of your presence.
I don't know, buddy. You better
holding that sniper rifle like a pistol.
Yeah, it's like just show me an actual level that is livable. Just do that, and I'll argue, and I'll say, okay, maybe you're right.
Theros was one.
Everything's so alien. Even this level, the crime, the jail cells. Like, is this a jail? Like, what is this? Some of them are small. They look like jail, but everything else is big and wide. And there's that giant room where you're fighting mechs. You're like, this. Why does a jail have this? What is this needed for? Everyone's in cryo lockup, but what the hell? What's the point?
They all look and feel weathered and concrete, from the colonies to the space jail you recruit Jack at.
Yeah, see that one on the right does make no sense. Why do you have this room? What do you need all this space for?
Yeah.
What are all these objects? These chest high walls?
Yeah, it reminds me. Yeah, it's like if let's say you had a prison facility like this, you do something like what Judge Dredd would have, which you have people in ISO cubes. Because you don't want these people moving around. If these are the most severely hardened criminals whatsoever, you don't want them moving around. You just lock them up and then keep them on ice.
Yeah, you don't need anything. Like, I remember this level on the left-hand side or whatever the hallway was. As soon as you start walking down the hallway or getting shot at, a chest high wall pops up for you. It's like, what? Are they expecting to have firefights that the bad guys, like the escapees, get guns? And it's like, now we have need for chest high walls. They just pop up. You're like, okay.
Isn't that the top left-hand one from Mass Effect 3? Isn't that Horizon?
It could be.
Sorry. Oh, Eden Prime. Sorry, it's Eden Prime from the DLC in Mass Effect 3. I don't know why I said Horizon, because I was looking at the top lower left.
I think the bottom left could be Horizon.
Yeah, that's how that looks, Horizon.
That looks like it, yeah.
And of course, the room where you talk to the elusive man.
The room this is livable. Are you out of your mind? This is a polished floor with it's a polished floor. That's it.
With a
what
GUI.
Are you talking about?
He lives there.
It's a 30-foot screen. Everyone lives near a 30-foot screen, a polished black floor, and dark lighting. What? I live in a penthouse on.
Also, as well, that doesn't look like a spinny chair as well. So it's like, in the beginning, in the first bit, he has to turn the thing to look at the sun thing, and then he's like, "All right, I have to talk to Shepard now."
But it's not even the sun. It's like his screensaver.
No,
Because
he
near
is
the end,
actually.
near
He's
the end of
actually
the
looking at the sun. Yeah.
well, near the end of the game, we find out that if you blow up the base, it turns blue, or if you don't blow up the base, it turns red, or something like that. So it's like, so he's either looking at different stars, or it's literally just a mood ring, where it's like I feel a little red today. Okay.
I think, yeah, I know it's like supposed to be like a visual indication of Paragon or Renegade, which is just like, how would that affect the sun? I do not know. Because if it's blue, then it's a freaking neutron star, which you don't want to be near, you know. But hey, just a little bit of astrophysics there. But like the whole purpose of him, like what was originally intended, was that he was supposed to be studying the star, you know, like stars are going, no, but like what you had in Tally's mission on Haystrom, like that's the whole point of it. In actual fact, you can see that in the opening of Mass Effect 2's thing, where you see like this blue haze coming up from the star where the collectors looks like they're studying that particular star, and that's about it. It's just a slight reference, really. It's just a visual cue. That's
That
what
would
it
have
is.
been a fantastic ending exposition. Like someone, I don't know, someone popped like, "Why do you keep staring at the star?" So it's like, "Sir, this is the whole key to everything. You don't understand it yet. I do." It's like, yeah, dark matter, dark energy, whatever they were talking about
Yeah.
with Tally's mission.
Oh,
Would have been fantastic. Nope.
yeah.
Don't care.
What would have actually been interesting, right, is if let's say, for example, you destroy the collector base, right? The information cannot be used from the collector base, and so the star actually starts to change a little bit because Cerberus doesn't have access to that information. But if you keep the collector base, then the sun actually kind of retains an original sun loop because they've got the information, and they're now finding ways to try and solve this problem of what's happening to the star, why it's destabilizing. You know, that would have been a nice like foreshadowing thing. You know,
That would have been absolutely fantastic to showcase that the Reapers are actually killing stars. And that's their method of population control, or whatever you want to call it. Because once they make a star, they can then create the ideal organism to make their own people, their own Reapers. And then once they're done, they kill off the stars. We're done. We don't need it anymore. We're done with our planet. And Shepard sees like, you're crazy. You're psychopaths. You're building us to be harvested, just to, like, you're literally creating the garden and then harvesting the garden, then destroying the garden. Like that would be like something you'd expect in a 1960s or 1970s sci-fi big novel by Asimov or what have you. That would be cool. But nope. AI is bad. AI is always bad, and you're going to die.
I'm an AI. You can trust me. By AIs are all bad. Why? Because I'm a bad AI that's made bad AI.
As you can see, I am pure evil. Therefore, all AI is going to be evil. It's like, okay.
Commander Shepard.
It's like Hitler
Elusive man.
being in charge of like the National History Museum and why genocide is bad. You know,
Yeah, it's like, okay, we had to kill you all, or else you all would have killed yourselves. Okay.
I thought we'd be meeting face to face.
A necessary precaution. Not unusual for people who know what you and I know.
The collector ship was also done especially well.
No, it's a rock with stuff sticking out of it.
it's the Red Dwarf, but darker. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, it's Red Dwarf. Just sideways. Turn it 90 degrees. There it is.
The mood and tone when being in that ship resembles the same feeling that horror movies usually provoke.
Well, that's mostly because of the twisting of the Vigil theme, and that's the kind of foreshadowing of the collectors being the right. People who try to say things like the collectors were made from the Protheans, like no, they were made from a DNA strand from the Protheans. That's what they say. They have no relation to the actual legit original Protheans. So Javik shouldn't look like that. Shouldn't look like a collector. It's just daft. It's silly. Oh. Sorry, rant.
No, yeah, we know the fiasco between Mass Effect 1 and 2. Yeah, it's all kinds of fun retro retcons, and who knows what else they did. I can't
Those
recall.
were actually the Asinuat. Then why were they in the Prothean flashbacks? Why would the Protheans use an ancient dead alien race in their Prothean system to guide to other Protheans in Prothean colonies, warning them of a Prothean-wide genocide? Instead, they use a completely different. No, just fuck off, Matt. Sorry.
You screwed up. You retconned it. Deal with it. That's it. That's all there is. It's bad writing. We didn't plan ahead. No shit. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. The amazing pile of
Bodies.
I guess I can't even figure them out. It's just
low resolution.
Yeah. It's Thane. Oh no, it's the R's aren't. No, it's nothing. It just smash some textures together.
That reminds me of when I used to have Manta Force a while ago. There was actually a I forgot what they were called now, but they were like Reapers and like Reapers and Collectors together, where like they would like harvest humans and like bring them all down, and what would be left is like just like the suits of the humans and things like that. So and that's what the vibe, and that was like a comic from like 1992 or something. So that's why I kind of have to giggle at this.
Why would the collectors just leave a pile of bodies lying around?
Must have been used for testing. I'd say these subjects didn't pass.
From this, we have seen Mass Effect 2 nail its atmosphere, which is important in creating a universe.
Because there's a pile of bodies? What?
Yeah, if let's say, I don't know about the whole testing subject thing, but it's like you would have thought that the collectors, considering that the collectors essentially break things down, it's like if let's say they're breaking humans down, a dead body's still a dead body. You can still break it down into the grey goo that you're going to be using into the creation of the retarded creature, you know. So they wouldn't be like kind of going, well, we've messed that one up. Well, we can just put it in the vat and break it down into the grey goo. Why don't they just do that? You know,
It doesn't. None of this. It doesn't make sense. None of this.
It's a pile of bodies. They're evil.
They're
experiment.
They're experiments. They're bad. Like, okay.
They're experimenting on humans, even though that we've seen this before in the previous game, but it's much more darker.
Aren't they stealing humans though to make into big giant goo? Yeah, but not these ones. Like, why not? I don't know.
Now, if they're going after human biotics, that'd be interesting.
Oh,
like you know, excuse me. Like if they were actually like going after specific subjects or something like that, like certain criteria, because that's what they actually said. Like the collectors were going after certain quarians, like they had certain quirks about in their genetics or something, and you know that's why they were interacting with traders and slavers and things like that. But you know, it's like there's just no real reason to kind of go, yeah, we're going to harvest a bunch of humans who are in the terminal systems. It's like, okay, sure, I guess, you know.
yeah. It's just a weak storyline. It doesn't make too much sense.
But for you to enjoy your time in that universe, there has to be a purpose, a good story.
If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Oh well, I guess that story's done with. The first 10 minutes of the game. Oh well.
You can
He's a
see
good
the
story. Shepard dies. Oh well.
It's like you can see the re-entry like thing trails coming off of him. You know,
He's about to get burned into nothing. His body will be used as fuel for burning in the atmosphere, and then he'll be reduced to nothing. Maybe he'll be up. You know, the steel on his armor might get burnt, might not get burnt, but everything else will be. He'll be cooked alive.
It'll be like the cosmonaut who unfortunately fell to Earth. You know, that the Russian guy.
Oh right.
You know, like you look at his remains, you'd be like, that's what Shepard would look like by the end of this. You know.
Well, if the atmosphere is filled with ammonia and nitrogen, it would be something a little different. It'd be a bit more combustible. Yeah.
I will show you true power.
So yeah, the launch trailer was amazing. I mean, that's pretty much got me to buy the game. So very attractive launch trailer using Heart of something from
that was Heart of Courage by Two Steps from Hell.
There you go. So
and then they used Protectors of the Earth and Mass Effect 3 because you know it's about protected Earth,
of course,
because Earth's important.
How ironic! It's like we need story music thing. Type in search for protecting. Oh, look at that!
Funnily enough, the music that was used in Andromeda was actually a blend of two. One was Fall of Heroes, and the other one was called Genesis or something like that. So
Oh, that
Just-
crazy rapper dude talking
no,
about
that
being...
was another one. I'm thinking of the original one, like very, very one of the earlier trailers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a blend, and then they had the Andromeda Initiative videos, which actually was a you can't buy, like at least you can't listen to it, but it was actually like a licensed piece of music that studios can buy. So.
There were so many of those stupid things. My God. I remember going through them all like, oh, this is so dumb. Water and ice. It's like, okay, Andromeda, you got your priorities straight. You go there, man.
You just needed a question mark of going water, ice. What kind of ice are we looking for?
Could you please be more specific on the distinction between water and ice, sir? That'd be really helpful.
Oh, sorry, it's got to be right back.
All right. Let's keep going.
We need a leader. And surround them with the brightest, the toughest, the deadliest allies we can find.
That's a great idea. Why do you need the brightest, toughest, and deadliest? What is the goal of Mass Effect 2? What are we trying to achieve? So getting a lot of really strong, smart dudes is great. Can you tell us why we need these guys? That's kind of what we need to know. Why we're risking our life to pick up Zaid or some other guy. So that was like, oh, Tally's in trouble. Shepard's screaming for Tally. I'm going to buy this game. So that's pretty. And of course, that's an overdub of the death of Tally in Mass Effect 2 when the bubble breaks, or you bring the wrong person to the biotic bubbles level, and she gets carried off. That's when Shepard screams her name.
Right. There we go.
So they put. I don't know if you remember this part of the trailer. Let's just go back.
Surround them with the brightest, the toughest, the deadliest allies we can find.
So when Shepard screams for Tally, that's a sound clip used when Tally is getting picked up by the collector bugs in the biotic bubble. If you fail the biotic bubble, like you use the wrong person, or Samara or Jack wasn't upgraded. So they used that sound clip and put it into that scene where Shepard and Tally are flinging off the edge of the baby Reaper, or the baby human Reaper, for added impact. So, and to me, who's a fan of obviously the first game, it's like, oh my God, Tally's going to die. Holy shit. I'm going to buy this game. So, little tricks in marketing, which isn't a lie, because those events happen in the game, which is great. That's why this trailer is so good. Like, this is still one of my favorite trailers for a game I've ever seen. The music, the scenes, the voice acting, it works for me on multiple levels, and it's a great trailer in general. So
that's EA for you. They do make good trailers.
Exactly.
Take the fight to the collectors in person. Looking forward to the action. Attack.
That's like the only thing I remember about Jacob. I like it. All right, we're gonna do it, man. All right, man, we're with you. It's like, yeah, he's a bro, but that's all he is. There's nothing left. He's a husk of a man.
I just like it how they actually have like a black character, and his storyline is he has a problem with his dad. His dad went missing all those years ago, and it's like, oh, please don't fall for that. They went for that stereotype.
Like, would it have been great? Would it have been really great if we needed Thane for an assassination mission? Wouldn't that have been fantastic?
Yeah.
Like, why are we getting Thane? He needs to assassinate someone no one else can use. He has the best skills. He's very unique. Fine, let's do it. We don't need Thane. We don't need Jacob. We don't need any of these guys.
Yeah, I like the way how it's like, right, we're going to go onto the collector base, but what if their base is like 15 times larger than it originally? If, let's say, the size of the Citadel, how are 12 dudes going to roam around this Citadel-sized thing that's got like probably about 5 million people on it? Yeah, we're going to fight through 5 million dudes. That's really going to work,
Maybe Tim should not have resurrected Shepard and just bought an army instead. Maybe that would have helped.
Well, he did buy one, but he didn't want to use it. You needed to save it for some reason.
For Mass Effect 3.
Jeez.
Tracking the collectors would require passing through the Omega-4 relay. No ship has ever returned from doing so.
Hopefully, what we have in Mass Effect 2 is one of the best stories written this generation.
Oh, no. Come on.
dear. Don't go there.
The best stories written in this generation for what? Simpletons? For gamers? For people playing Minecraft? Like, what are you talking about?
Hello. Have you ever played a game series called Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver? I'd like to beat you over the head to death with it. That is an excellent story.
Come on. Like, just you can't say these big terms like, oh, it's the best story in ever, generation. It's fantastic. Like, no.
It's the best feel-good story, but that's about it.
It makes
'Cause-
you like some of the characters that are completely innocuous to the rest of the story, if that's your thing.
Yeah, it's literally the side adventures of Commander Shepard.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the random adventures.
It's like buying an anthology book of short stories that all happen to have Shepard in them as just the narrator, and he's just walking around. It's like, Tully, what do you need? I want to go back to my home, my people, and I have to do a trial. It's like, I'll go with you. Okay, and you just do that. And then Thane's like, my son is over. Okay, I'll go with you. Yeah, okay. You're basically a taxi driver.
You know, it would have been good if they incorporated different characters. Like, for example, it's like my son might be chased by Seasick. Oh, Garrus.
Yeah. And if you had them loyal, they would do like that would be great, depending on what order you got them and how you got them and what they did. That would have been fantastic. All these cross difference or these juxtapositions between who do you have now and who are you helping now and who did you get last time? Like that would have been fantastic. I thought that would have been. See, all these little additions where you integrate storylines, because that's the problem with this game. There's no integration. It's just, hey, here's a suicide mission where you did some random stuff. It might cause something good to happen. You're like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh, the door doesn't jam. How does the door not jam? It always jams. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, what do you? Oh, you didn't jam a door, so therefore someone got hit by a missile. It's like, why?
I like the way of how we can hack a door, even though we don't understand the collector technology or like their language or anything like that. We could just 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, which would have made sense if you got Legion, who could hack anything. So it's like, we don't care, Tali. We're not going to put you in a freaking vent where it's super hot. No. Get the robot man who can just hack anything and survive in any atmosphere. It's like, yeah, send him. Perfect. It's like we need 2 people. We need 1 person to hold the bubble. How about 5 people? We have like all these biotics. What's the problem? Oh, there's too many. No, they'll take turns.
Here's a thought. Why don't we equip everyone with flamethrowers? That will work against those bugs.
Yeah. Oy.
What I think makes Mass Effect 2 so special is its pacing.
In the mission-to-mission sense, I can see, but in terms of the overall pacing, it literally is just clunk, clunk, clunk. It's like,
yeah,
it's nothing. Like, it's just this big empty space.
Chapter 1. Here's hour and a half experience, maybe an hour experience, maybe a 45-minute experience. Like, was it Thane's mission was like just walking around for 20 minutes and avoiding guards or whatever the hell it was on that catwalk? It's like, okay.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. It's like if you stood around for too long, then people would start to notice you or something like that.
Yeah, it's up and down. When you talk about pacing, you're talking about the flow of a story, how fast it goes by. And the problem with this game, because it's episodic, it's just like here's a piece, there's a piece. You can do it in any order. And then it's up to the pacing of that story. And you could say those individual stories are paced well. Like, let's take a look at Jacob's mission. That sort of builds up. It's kind of slow. It's not great in terms of pacing, but it gets the job done. But I wouldn't say the story as a whole is paced rather well. I think the major plot points are stupid. Getting there is slow. Getting to Horizon and just like,
And then, of course, you've got the additional subquests of like, the drilling, the probing, and all that kind of crap.
All the
That-
N7 crap. Yeah, it's not paced well. If we just look at the main missions.
Yeah, it's like Mass Effect 1, the side missions were side missions. They weren't I know like a lot of people try to incorporate the side missions into the main missions, but the thing about that one is just that with Feros, it's like you had the option of helping out the like taking out a Geth communication hub, killing some Baron, and probably doing a few other things as well along the way, right? Like getting some information as well. But those were kind of integrated into those hub worlds, and they made sense. But in this one, it's like they're trying to do things from the outside and trying to jam them in, and it doesn't really work that well. It breaks the pacing. Because what typically happens, at least with most gamers, is that they want to get all the good stuff, all the candies, all the character missions, all that kind of stuff, and then it's like, oh god, I've got 2 hours worth of Planet Sky that I have to do if I don't want everyone to die at this point.
Yeah, no, it's I wouldn't say pacing is a proper way to gauge the value of quality in Mass Effect 2. You can look at individual stories, sure. Like the Garrus mission, I think is paced rather well. Good amount of combat as a choice at the end. It slows down. That's fine. But you have to go shot by shot, and there's just too much. Like the Samara mission is just like, what is this? You're just walking around a club.
Yeah.
So
the other thing as well, like with the Garrus mission, is that Garrus gets hit by a rocket, but it's like, why couldn't there have been a running firefight from out of that location where like you're having to drag Garrus's body? Like you kind of go, right, Jacob, pick up Garrus right now, go, we'll cover you. You're literally doing, I know it's an escort mission, but hey, it works. Why? Because you're Kazivacking a body, for crying out loud.
There's no to and from. You're just sort of hiding in that second story whatever room because Garrus wants to kill those guys. You're like, okay, fine, we'll help you out. But there's no like, oh, we got to leave this position. We're getting swarmed. There's too many, Garrus. We got to go. Like, there's nothing like that. There's no dynamic, which is fine. It doesn't have to be that way, but we're always talking about making the story better. This is like, if only they did this a touch more of this with Garrus, a touch more. It's always the characters we like the most. We want to see more of. And that's the problem with Garrus's loyalty mission. It's just like, oh, you don't care whether you kill him or not because I'm here with you. It's like, Garrus, you either really should care and I should make no difference on your opinion. But nope, Shepard's there. Nope, all of a sudden I am paramount. Everything that I do matters. Therefore, Garrus, don't kill him. Oh, well, okay, Shepard. All right. So there's a problem with that element of the story where the choices you make are like hand of God choices, and not what you should do in a story like this. There should be consequences to everything, and to Garrus, it's nothing. It doesn't mean it makes no difference.
The pacing of Mass Effect 2 is done more in line of a TV show rather than a long movie.
No.
What is he talking about?
He's going to start saying that Mass Effect 1 was more like a movie and Mass Effect 2 is a TV show. The reason why I disagree with that straight away, because he's probably going to explain this, is that Mass Effect 1 was more like a serialized TV show, like Deep Space Nine or Babylon 5, because it's like each one of these things matters. Theros matters. Why? Because you need to get the cipher. Why does Noveria matter? Because there's things that happen in there that Saren's doing on Noveria. Why does Ferrum matter? Because you need to have Liara. Why are you going to go to Vermeer? All these things add to the overall objective to which you are trying to achieve to. Mass Effect 2, on the other hand, is a non-serialized, episodic-based thing whereby they're all completely disconnected from one another because nothing fucking matters. It's like...
If he gives the analogy of like Star Trek or something, oh no.
Yeah, I think that's why he's going to go for. So rant, but
this format truly allows for the game to keep a constant momentum and keep the player engaged.
What?
Momentum? Where's the momentum? It's go back to your ship and then wait for other mission to pop up.
It's hitting the brakes, slamming your head on the dashboard and going, right, here's your other little chest high wall segment.
Fly back to the Citadel. Fly back to Omega. Go to Tachanka now. It's like, oh, okay.
It's like an Uber driver on crack.
Going round and round. That's not a momentum. That's going in circles.
The game starts out with a bang, with Commander Shepard being killed from a mysterious threat, and like any good leader, Shepard goes down with the ship.
Not by choice.
Story over. Shepard dies. New protagonist, please.
Yeah. The death of Shepard in the Normandy, creating gigantic plot holes in the first game.
It would have been great if the Vermeer survivor became the new hero of Mass Effect. That would have been your choice. Really matters. And Shepard dies, can't be brought back. Who do we get? The second best thing, the person who's just like Shepard that they saved. And then Tim goes after them. That would be great. I think that all props to Mark Muir and Jennifer Hale, but you know, if you're gonna really change my mind, make this thing look awesome, kill off the protagonist, bring someone new in. Don't bring him back to life. That's dumb.
Did I leave the oven on? No, no. That would happen immediately in a vacuum. He would not be kind of going, oh, wait, oh, yeah, the air going. Imagine the air going, oh, yeah, it's vacuum. It's like, no.
Vacuum, no, zoop, all gone.
It would be happening straight away.
Your lungs would implode instantly.
Oh, man. Talk about timing.
Like, no, just a hole in my suit. Well, the air is escaping. It's like, okay. Not how physics works, but okay.
From here, you can carry over your Shepard from the first game, or create a new one thanks to the Pro-Human Service Organization. They find your charred remains and spend billions of dollars over 2 years to make you come back just the way you were before death. Long story short, Cerberus is willing to put aside their humans first motto and work with other species because, as Cerberus knows, the Reapers are coming back to wipe out all biological life in the galaxy.
I don't think they ever did. They just saw them as tools, as they see everyone as tools, even humans, especially humans, actually. They kill a lot of humans.
Yeah.
So,
we're so pro-human that we're anti-human. It's great.
Yeah, it's like, we for the dominance of humankind. It's like, how about you stop killing most of the humans you ever encounter? That would be great. Here's Way with a Ferret. Thank you, sir. Somewhat long-time listener. Finally caught one live, and my Bluetooth earbuds battery died, so I can't listen. Feels bad. Thanks for the entertaining show. I'll catch the upload later on. No problem, man. Hope your earbuds work out. I would recommend some headsets. I think I have them in the description, but everyone has their own tastes in headsets. I know I have my own. All depends on what you like. I use earbuds right now. Use all sorts of headsets in the past, but it's really up to your taste, what you like on your head, how long you can go with it, what annoys you. Like some people hate square headphones. Some people hate earbuds. All sorts of tastes for everyone. So, yeah, I have a few my own preferences, but different discussion. So yeah, Cerberus likes killing humans a lot, like all of them. Everyone.
I like the way of how like you look at the ending there, and there's like so many Reapers, and it's just like we have no way to kill these things, and one of those took out a fleet of human vessels. That's pretty scary, and it's like, what are we going to do? And like, even if you were just to calculate in that screen alone, there's like about what 500 there or something like that. It's
it's hard to say. And some of these designs, like it's kind of like the one on the bottom right. I don't know if that's like what part of the ship that is. I know they're all the same design though. We all thought they looked different.
Yeah.
But because parts of them are in darkness, we thought somewhat like a scorpion, that sort of thing.
They kind of have the cuddly kind of pincery kind of thing going for them, which is a nice aesthetic, really, isn't it?
But they're virtually all the same aside from the smaller ones. But it's like, okay, well.
Yeah. See, that would have been interesting if in Mass Effect 3 you actually had different types of Reapers that were doing different things. But hey ho, girl can dream.
Yeah.
And the only one who can truly stop.
It's like the Borg. No, they're all cubes, but they're all different inside. It's like, well, no, they're all different beings they absorbed, but the layout's all the same. They're the Borg, but not the Borg.
Them is Commander Shepard. Not because he or she possessed some secret weapon or power, but
Prothean visions.
Prothean Cipher.
because you are the weapon. Your character has the ability to lead unlike any other.
I never liked that argument. That's
Like, hey, Shepard, who are you? No, it's Shepard isn't actually the one doing the leading. It's Tim giving the dossiers. And like, how'd you get Zaid? Well, Tim pays him. It's like, yeah, Shepard's leading ability made him do it. It's like, no. Tim just basically went, here's $2 million. Do this mission for me.
I have nothing against Shepard being a good leader, but anyone who's in the military can be a good leader. It's really not that big a deal.
It's about getting these people to work together to try and accomplish the mission.
Yeah, and there's only 2 major cinematic experiences where that happens, where it's a problem, and all you do is choose one or the other. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, you pick blue or red, and it's exactly the same regardless. You pretty much get the exact same outcome.
There's no social dynamic. There's no interpersonal problem. It's just shut up or I'll get angry at you. Like, okay. Legion, give some data to Tali. Tali, give some data to Legion. Okay. No, he doesn't even say that. They just figure that out themselves. You just sort of, I'm going to beat you up if you do this. Thanks, Shepard. That you really resolved the problem there. I bet Movie Bob would see Cerberus as being anti-fascist. I have no idea what Movie Bob would say. When it comes to Movie Bob, who knows? Who could even guess what Movie Bob would think of as the human supremacist group that kills humans the most? Yeah, it's amazing. You probably love them, but
And you can unite people together for a cause, as well as convince them to put aside their differences.
Sooner or later, you're both going to have to stop fighting this war, or we'll all end up paying for it.
To facilitate unit cohesion, we will not transmit data regarding creator plans.
Thank you, Legion. I understand your intention. What if I gave you some non-classified data to send?
We would be grateful.
From there, how the story plays out.
This doesn't matter in Mass Effect 3 because they will not give a shit.
Wow, there's 4 characters you recruit out of what, 9 or 10, possibly 12.
Yeah, 12
that have problems with each other. Wow, amazing! Bravo, BioWare.
This is the one that they actually showed off at the E3, and everyone was like, "Wow, this is going to be amazing!" In actual fact, they did actually lay the groundwork for Morden and Grunt, and a few other ones as well. Like I think, was it Jacob and Thane were actually going to be one as well.
Yeah, that would have been fine. That would have been good. I would have liked to have seen actual problems with all these people, either sitting down at the mess hall, or whatever that section was, or wherever, having an argument. We never got those. I want to see I want to see like Miranda get pissed off at everyone because she's Miranda and she's Little Miss Perfect. And she's ordering everyone around. Like there should be a whole subplot with Miranda, moving her weight around because she's second in command. And Shepard's like, "What, Miranda? What the hell are you doing?" It's like, "I'm keeping everyone up to par. This is a Cerberus ship. We have to do everything by the book." And Shepard's like, "I didn't hear about the book. What are you talking about?" Like that would have been great. Telling Ellie what to do and Morden what to do. That'd be great.
Yeah, you come back from a mission and suddenly like Gareth Gans going to go, "Listen, that Miranda's been a complete bastard." You're like, "Oh, great."
Yeah, she's telling me how to configure the guns. Like that's my job. I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't care what her Cerberus standards are. Mine are better. That would have been fantastic. Because when Miranda gets back on the ship after Pinnacle Station, whatever, not Pinnacle, Minuteman Station, she's completely okay with everything.
Yeah, she goes from Ice Queen to like complete like, yeah, chill, react, guys, it's fine.
She's like, no one is under any stress. No one bothers Jack. No one, like Jack doesn't bother any. It's like everyone's fine. There's no interpersonal problems. Samara just meditates all day. Like there's no problems with anyone.
That would have been funny, like having Samara like complaining to you about people making music and things like that. Like
That would be fantastic. Yeah, anything that gets Samara angry would be like, really? You're pissed off about what? Music? Are you serious? Like Samara and Joker would probably be good, because Joker's like so one way, and Samara's like, no, we do not do this. So I worked hard to get Miranda killed in Mass Effect 2. It's hard, yeah. It's
Her
hard to
ass
get her
is bulletproof.
Yeah, so many times she just does not die, and I don't know why they have to keep her alive. Aside from the one scene where she has to give a speech, or have the scene because she tells Shepard, "We're at this point. What do we do?" Like that's the only reason that she's not killable up to that point, is because that one scene where she talks to Shepard, and it's always her. So, yeah, that's how it goes. In a suicide mission where nothing makes sense and everything works out.
It's really up to you, as you are presented with many choices, both large and small, that will change the future of the series. These
Nope.
That's just,
choices can range.
Just no.
Rachni, who are they? I don't know. Don't worry about it.
From small decisions, such as what you say to different people, which in turn will affect how they treat you in the future.
You don't sound too happy to see me. Something bothering
This
you?
has nothing to do with anything. This entire scene.
Like, you can treat you can be full renegade against Ashley in the first game, and she won't react to you differently in this game at all. Even with Kaden, you know, it's pointless. You know, it's...
Ash?
Yeah, something's bothering me. I spent the past 2 years believing you were dead. I would have followed you anywhere, Commander. I thought you were gone. You were more than our commander.
To large decisions, such as how to handle powerful technology, that'll change the galaxy's perception of Shepard.
What?
Really?
What powerful technology does Shepard have at his disposal?
Who perceives Shepard different? What? What's he even talking about?
He must have the unlimited edition or something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
Because I knew your value. Don't be so quick to discard this
This
facility.
is the most stupidest choice in the whole series. It's like a big deal in Mass Effect 2, and then that third game, it's like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. At least with like Mass Effect 1, like choosing between the Council and, you know, or killing them basically was like, you got tired of their bureaucracy and you needed to have a kind of a clean slate, as it were, to kind of go, right, we need to cut through this bullshit. We need to focus on killing the big bad dudes. And if these guys are in the way, then we need to get rid of them. That's fine. But in this one, yeah, it's like we are having to find means to try and kill the bad guys. We have the means to try and kill the bad guys. We are watching actually one of them grow, for lack of a better word. And we are destroying it because... why?
Yeah. Well, the choice to save the council actually comes down to, hey, we lose a really big mothership that can have really big guns on it. I remember actually talking about it. It's like, oh, we should probably save that ship. I don't care who's on it. I just want this ship.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, if you've got the Dreadnought, or I think it's like half of Arcturus fleet gets destroyed, or something like that. Well, 4 cruisers actually, as Shepard actually points out.
Yeah, like that's where you have to think in terms of galactic scale, like spaceship size stuff. You want like big decision making stuff. So it's like, hey, a bunch of politicians on a ship. It's like, I don't care, but the ship is huge and has a big gun, and I want it. That's what matters. The big stuff. Like this whole Mass Effect 2 should have been, how do we kill the Reapers? I know they're coming. Let's get some big guns. Legion, you're Geth. Do you have any big guns? Shepard, I do not have access. Get it. Get the access. I want the guns now.
Mass Effect 2, the search for big guns.
Yeah, Guns of the Reapers. It should have been like, it came out the same year, I think, as Metal Gear Solid 4 or something like that. You know, just steal everything about, you know, nanomachines and memes and whatever. It's like Shepard is just going to go crazy looking for weapons. That's it.
Think of the potential.
We'll fight and win without it. I won't let fear compromise who I am.
You're an idiot, Shepard. What is stupid? Like what? I won't let fear it's a weapon. Use it. It's
I won't
it's
let fear.
information.
Fear of what exactly? Fear of what? Corpses? Why? And what? It's like if Shepard's a Spectre, and therefore with the Council, it's like, why don't I just contact the Council or the Alliance or Tim or
Yeah.
anyone else in the goddamn galaxy?
I'm
You know?
scared of losing my humanity. It's like, what are you talking about, Shepard? What?
You are a brick.
Stop being a stupid idiot and take the damn technology. The whole point of Mass Effect 3 was like, did you get rid of the data? Oh, you should have kept it for Malin, so you could save the Quarians, or sorry, save the
Krogan.
the Krogans. Like, did you keep everything? The whole point of the of Mass Effect 3 was to keep everything. That's what it came down to. Don't throw anything out, and you're fine, or you're better off than if you did.
Shepard, think about what's at stake, about everything Cerberus has done for you.
This all helps you to feel much more connected to the story than you may have otherwise been, as each player is able to have a unique experience.
Sure, I'll give them that. That's fine. You get to choose what you want.
This personal experience is what makes it all the more brutal and hard to embrace that Mass Effect 2's main goal in the story is a suicide mission.
Not really, because it's not really that lethal. Everyone, maybe Morden dies if you're stupid. Or sorry, I think Morden died my first time. But you have to try hard to get more than Morden killed. So, like it's really hard to get more than 3 people killed. Maybe you can upgrade a shield or your guns like that. That'd be like the most obvious thing to do. But
yeah. I think the loyalty ones, like when you got the bit where they're defending the point, and I don't think if anyone's loyal there, they die. But I don't really want to experiment with that because I can't be played through it. Yeah.
I saw enough of the chart to go, this is kind of convoluted and doesn't make any sense. So I was like, this is stupid. If it actually made sense, I'd be, hey, this is, and it's not hard to make sense. It's like, oh, Tali's an engineer. Guess what? The Geth is a better engineer. He is a machine. So it would make sense to have the best thing to do the best job, or the job geared toward them. You wouldn't put Miranda as the bubble babe. You wouldn't do it. As awesome as she is, we have Jack. Jack's crazy, but she's way stronger than you.
Shepard is instructed by the Cerberus leader, the Elusive Man, to assemble the galaxy's best and travel through the mysterious Omega-4 mass relay. This relay may hold the answer to preventing the Reaper invasion. This suicide...
Really?
Preventing it? Like,
who said that?
Yes.
When was that in the story? Where did you get this idea, sir?
Preventing the...
I guess. I never heard about this. We just go we just go straight full throttle. we got the IFF. Oh, fantastic. We can do it. I was like, how do you know this is going to work?
I like the way how we need a Reaper IFF to go through the relay, even though the collectors are probably using something that they probably aren't using actual Reaper technology, because that would just be stupid. You know what I mean? It's like, but then again, I say that the collectors are stupid, even though like they're using freaking husks. It's like, Reaper technology.
Yeah, they're equipped with all the latest stuff, except they're not.
Yeah.
That mission to be a successful one, where everyone returns, every crewmate needs to be at their best. They have to fully trust you, and you have to have complete faith in your team.
Yeah, Jacob, let's go see how your dad's doing, so you're at your best, so you don't get distracted by, I don't know, thoughts of your dad. After you learn he's freaking...
made a harem.
Made a giant hair. And that's not going to bother you at all. That's the mystery of your dad, or knowing your dad was a creep. Oh, yeah. Weight off your shoulders, huh, buddy? And Legion. What the hell does Legion care? He's a robot.
Right. It's like little bunch of little apps inside of him are like yes and no's.
Yeah, I was thinking about the thing we didn't do, Shepard, for 1 millisecond. Sorry, let me get back to my job. Okay.
This is the thing that doesn't sound like, they might die if they're not loyal. It's like, no, you don't understand how professional soldiering works if you honestly got to think that way. It's dumb.
They signed up. They're ready to die. Period. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
They don't need any further assurance. Hey, Shepard, you bought me a cake. That's really special to me, man. I'm going to take 2 bullets for you now. All right. Here's Edax. I lost a lot of squad mates legitimately because I opted to rescue the crew before most of the squad was loyal. You have to sacrifice the crew, basically. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh. That's cool. Oh, that's interesting.
You try to do as much as you can out of your games. You get the most out of your dollar when you play these games. So you have to try not to do everything.
Well, this is the problem with it's from Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, was that I actually got like almost the best ending. Like I only lost one person on my first playthrough, because I literally did everything, because you can do everything. And that's always I'd say a bit of a problem. But then again, that's how BioWare have always structured their quest design. So they always want to talk about consequences, but the consequence comes down to, can you be asked to complete this quest? It's not, here's a choice between lesser of 2 evils that you have to pick.
Yeah. And that's what pissed me off. Like, say, choosing Zaid over Garrus. It's like Zaid has way more experience than Garrus. Whether or not he has everyone's loyalty, who cares? He's the fire team leader. You do what he says. This is a life and death situation. Why are you second guessing yourself? Just do what he says. He knows what to do.
Yeah. Why can't you send them out on missions and kind of go, right, Garrus, you're my 2 IC, so I'm going to send you out on a mission with Miranda and Zaid. Go off and do that, and then they come back to you and they'll get Miranda.
Like an attribute system where they have a relationship points between each other, but that would be too complicated because a lot of people would fail because they wouldn't do the side missions, and that would piss a lot of people off. So they have to make it super easy for all these gamer bros or whatever to play Gears of War. Oh, why is Garrus not working? I don't know. So they have to make it dumbed down easy for all these.
Too much RPG in this RPG.
Yeah, it's too complicated. I can't figure this number systems. I would have liked to have seen. I don't know if you guys have played Kingmaker. Tell me about the sequel, but you have a character sheet or a character chart which shows the connections between each character. It's a plus or minus, and it says you have a good relationship. It's plus. It's very basic, so that would have worked. It's like, take all that would force you to mix up your party. Aside from obviously the idea that you recommended of having them go on missions together, but with Shepard, then they would interact with each other. And they'd have little bonds, but they could have rivalries like how Dragon Age 2 did it, which I actually enjoyed that friendship rivalry system because it makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, you could hate the guy, but you respect him. Or you could like the guy and still respect him. But there's you can't have a sort of milquetoast kind of relationship or ambiguous. You have to be strong either way, which is good, which makes sense. You can't have a neutral. It's like, Iron Bull, meh, he's kind of a guy. He's just a guy. It's like, no. They should have incorporated rivalry with Dragon Age Inquisition, but that's whole other discussion.
Thankfully, this is a rather easy part of the game because the characters in Mass Effect 2 are an all-star cast of fictional writing.
Commander Shepard?
He has no idea what he's getting into. To his credit.
I wish Tim knew what he was getting into, so he could tell us why we're getting all these people.
I like this Blur Studios trailer. It's like Tim's to his credit, he's recruiting scientists, all these other people. Reality, Tim's actually the one doing all the work for you.
Yeah.
It's thanks, trailer.
Thanks, trailer, for not knowing the game. Hey guys, marketing team here. Do you know the story? What happens in it? Oh, well, Shepard, he gets people, and then he gets recruited by Tim. Oh, okay, so he's getting people by himself. Okay, cool. It's like, nope.
See, this would have actually been right. This would have been interesting, as if you didn't actually know Cerberus was actually helping you, and Miranda's actually the plant.
Hey,
there's an idea.
So many other great stories we could have told to make Cerberus make sense.
She walks on with the big Cerberus logo. It's like,
Yeah, when you go to the Citadel, try not to have the terrorist organization you're fighting on your ship or your clothing. Doesn't really work out so well. It's like, hey, Tim, I know you like Cerberus and you like the logo. Can you not paint it on the ship, please? Or have it part of your transponder so they know it's not
Yeah.
really helpful if you don't do that. Thanks.
Credit, he's recruiting an impressive team. Assassins, scientists, biotics. He's scouring the galaxy for the best. Ilium.
The characters in Mass Effect 2 shows BioWare at their best. The writing, the dialogue, the acting, all this is executed perfectly.
Okay.
I would say it's
Anyone
good.
who talks about a book, a story, a movie, a play will never say it is done perfectly. That's just silly.
I'd say it's done well for what it is. You know, and it
BioWare
needs-
perfected all aspects. All. That means Jacob is perfect. Jacob, the most
No,
boring.
But no,
Oh.
Jacob is perfect in the boring way. He's perfectly boring.
He's perfectly boring. He's worse than Caden. He was supposed to be that way. His dad's story is boring and dumb. It's supposed to be that way. Jacob doesn't change as a character. He's supposed to be that way. He's perfect.
Miranda is literally perfectly two volleyballs that have been genetically engineered to be a sentient being.
Miranda has all the perfect hemispheres a woman should have: brains, boobs, and butts. It's just the Holy Trinity, right? Keep reminding us, yes, she's perfect. We get it. Except she's not. Oh, it's so ironic. She's not perfect.
I'm never wrong. Oh yeah, by the way, Shepard, I can actually be wrong sometimes.
I can bring you back from the dead, but I don't know how to deal with my sister. Oh my god.
See, that would have been interesting. Like, you've got Miranda who's always succeeded, and then when she goes on these missions with Shepard and you see her failing, she fails missions, and then you see that kind of, she can't deal with it, you know? And it's like Shepard's like, no, I failed before. This is how you deal with it, you know? It's like, have a heart to heart, you know?
Yeah. That's basic stuff. Like, imagine like Samara. I've been chasing after my daughter for hundreds of years, but I just can't find her. Oh my god, Shepard, how'd you do it?
Oh, that bit where she's like trying to find a lost genetic related sister or something like that.
The entire order of my sisterhood are looking for these people. My daughter happens to be one of them. We can't find them.
I do like how the storyline kind of goes. Her father wanted a legacy, a dynasty, and so, but her father was a major contributor to Cerberus, and so she ran away to Cerberus.
I know, it's like you can make another daughter. Like you have the money, you have the time. Just make more children that'll listen to you. Write your other daughters out of their will. Done. What's the problem? It's like all these stories are like, oh, if only Shepard were here, he'd help us. He'd help us do things. I get the one with Tali because Tali trusts Shepard, and Tali is technically his spiritual captain, which is cool. I get with Garrus because Garrus is a bro and he really respects Shepard, even if you haven't never met him. So there's some continuity with those two characters. But everyone, like even Morden, is like, Morden, you're just a guy. You didn't have to come. You're just bored. And yeah, you're just bored. Like you have better things. There's nothing better for you to do. You'd rather you believe in the Reapers, therefore you're going to help us, but we don't actually do anything to stop the Reapers. You're just here.
Oh, that reminds me actually of when you're on Omega and you're trying to stop the plague. Who are the big teeth-like creatures that were along Krogan? I forgot what they were called now. Those race, and it's like they actually legit said the Collectors gave us this virus. It's like the Collectors are an elusive force that nobody even knows that exists. Yeah, the Collectors gave this.
They spend top dollar to find genetics, but yet they're everywhere.
Torture, thank you. It's just like, what the hell? This doesn't No, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's only one ship. There's one ship doing all this stuff. It's like, wow, this is amazing.
It's like, how did the collectors give you this virus? You know, how did they smuggle it aboard? How would you know it's the collectors?
It's like this dreadnought. Like, how could you miss a dreadnought ship coming in and out of wherever? I think it's the collectors. Yeah, who else could it be who has a mountain flying through space?
It's like as the Space Force, we break for nobody.
We're going to give you all the credits in the world if you give us a sample of that hair right now. Okay. Yeah. That whole comic book, we have Commander Shepard's body. Oh my God. It's like, why do you want it? It's Shepard, but why? Yeah, we were told to. We're just a middle guy. We just do things we're told to do.
Yeah, it's like if Shepard was I don't know, collected by the collectors in the beginning, they're actually scouring his brain for the, during the Prothean siphon. Like there's more information buried in there. That'd be cool. And that's why you have to do that break. You have to do like a breakout or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
So to summarize, writing and dialogue and acting, these are all the same thing. You could hire voice actors. They're all going to be good. The dialogue is based off the writing. Dialogue is a minor part of a story. It's like showing, it's telling, not showing. So it is vital, of course, but if you don't have a proper story, the writing is just going to feel empty, no matter how bombastic you make it. So it has to make sense. And, it's funny at times, it's silly at times. It's entertaining to say the least, but there's not much in the terms of teaching. Like when you talk about morality, there's maybe two major choices, and that's only with Morden, arguably, and the Legion stuff. That's the stuff where science fiction actually plays a role. It's like, oh, this is interesting. You're talking about killing AI, but are they really alive? What does that mean? Are they rewriting them? Is that killing them? They're still alive. They're still the same, only we've changed one of their thoughts. Does that mean we were programming? Like, it's interesting. That makes you think.
And treating them the same as you would treat a human is maybe wrong because they're Geth, they're different. So you can't treat them like a human being. So
yeah. Every other choice that I can think of, like even killing that guy for Garrus, is like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just a guy. And this is why we're doing this for Garrus, so Garrus can feel better. And it's like, and you don't have to kill him. And Garrus is like, well, okay. And that's that. With Miranda, there's your sister. Do you want to go talk to her? I'm not selfish, Shepard. I don't want you to. It's like, look, she's right there. Shut up and go talk to her. Okay. Like, that's it. There's really nothing else in terms of choices, unless you talk about killing Samara. But I mean, that's just stupid. Do I want a psychopath? Like, no. Why would you want that?
It's like Morinth reminds me of is it Rogue that has the ability from X-Men to like siphon off life from other people or something like that?
Yeah, but she's crazy. Like, she's a lunatic.
I know, that's why you pick her up and you catapult her into the enemy.
Oh, yeah. Samara, instead of actually killing her, we could use her as a weapon. What are you talking about, Shepard? Listen, great idea.
Yeah, see, I think that Samara thing would have been better if, I'm using poor English there. To me, it would have been, let's say, for example, Samara was like, right, okay, I need to find my daughter. That's like the emotional attachment. But the collectors are trying to intercept her as well, because they're like, this is a unique specimen. We need this specimen. And if you fail that one, then you get to have a different boss encounter at a certain point.
Yeah, there's so many things we could play with the lore of the setting and the characters and the factions, but there's no time. And everything has to be about the suicide mission, and we don't know what the suicide mission's about. It's stupid. It's so dumb.
It's like working for Black Mesa. No one knows what everything does it?
I'm trying to remember was it the Guns of Navarro or the Dirty Dozen?
The Guns of Navarro was about them destroying a big gun emplacement, wasn't it? Was it in Norway or something like that?
Some German encampment, something like that, where they had to get a specific series of people for specific tasks. They had to train them to do something very specific.
Yeah, the Dirty Dozen was about using a bunch of criminals to do a certain mission because like you can't use regular soldiers wouldn't go around killing civilians and things like that. So like what? So it's best to use criminals to
Right. So this is essentially a heist scenario, minus the details of the heist. And you're like, well, I guess we need a lock picker. It's like, how do you pick an alien lock? I have no idea.
Do they have locks?
Do they use them? Yeah. Can we get that information? Can we steal their information so we know that? What do they breathe? What weapons do they have? Nothing. We know nothing.
It's like another thing as well, and this is just level design, but when they talk about the alien ship and it looks like kind of like a hive-like thing, it's like, why don't the collectors have that kind of hive-like ant thing where like they're crawling out of the walls and things like that? And you're almost like, like Xenomorph from Aliens. That's kind of what you would want in that kind of creepy, icky kind of styling. But no, it's like, no, we have floors, we have walls, ceiling. We're exactly like you. It's like there's no uniqueness to the alien design. It's just the same.
Imagine gravity was just all over the place. That would have been cool.
Yeah. It's an alien ship. You can do that. I've seen games that allow you to crawl up along walls and kind of thing like that. It's been done since early 2000s. So, in actual fact, they did it in Mass Effect 3 when you board the Geth Dreadnought, when you can go along the sides. It's only like literally just a walking segment, but it proves that you can do it. It's capable.
Yeah, you can't do anything too complicated though. Oh, it's too hard, too much effort. You gotta actually think. So much coding involved with gravity. Oh,
imagine like a firefight where it's like a 360 by 360 battle zone. That'd be wicked. And
you're jumping between ceiling to ceiling. You're just going all over the place.
They're on the walls. Which walls?
Yeah, that would have been cool, but can't do it.
The characters here are impeccably unique and feel as if they were not created, but rather real people that were just represented in the game. This is a BioWare that we praise, and this is a pillar of Mass Effect that we the fans know is essential. There are 13 crewmates in this game that you'll get to know outside of the equally well-made Normandy crew, such as Joker.
You really trust the Elusive Man?
Well, I don't trust anyone who makes more than I do. But they aren't all bad. Saved your life, let me fly, and there's this. They only told me last night.
While it seems like an impossible task for BioWare to truly flesh out all 13 crewmates in the game, they find a way to do just that.
Depends on the
character.
character.
Fleshed out, really?
Yeah, Dr. Chocolate. Yeah, I think Chocolate's only had that one moment where if you get was it the brandy or something like that?
Yeah.
You get to have a conversation. It's like, we need more of that. It's like, how more?
Keep the whole series, aside from these loyalty missions, if you wanted to do that, fine. Should have been character interactions. And all these things with choices, the big ideas should have amounted to something. So that was another huge problem with the series as a whole. But if you're going to tell a story about characters and having them be rowdy and against each other and having different philosophies, show that. But they never interact. They just get angry. There's the two instances where they get angry, and that's that. We're done. That's not a problem. That's like, oh, we're all cohesive. We're good. And they have nothing to do with the mission. It's all just, Cerberus was bad. No, Jack, you were a mistake. I'm not a mistake. Oh, shut up, you idiots. Who cares? Oh, Legion's going to transmit data. Legion, don't do that. Okay. That's it. Wow, great complex characters. Okay.
This is accomplished through a recruitment mission and a loyalty mission for each character, as well as talking to the characters during downtime aboard the Normandy.
Okay, when you get Tali, there's not much about her character she's over there, okay? We're trying to get her. You can't have much exposition when she's over there. Yes, there's little audio logs. That helps. But that's like the best example. That's Tali. Compare that to Garrus or the other recruitment missions. They have nothing to do with the character. So that's not fleshing out that's introducing a character at best.
And a lot of them don't really make much sense in the world. It's like Shepard's being killed. Okay, so does everyone like break apart and start trying to find ways to stop the Reapers in their own light? No, just we're not going to do that. You know, we're just like, oh no, we can't do it without Commander Shepard. It's like,
Yeah, you think what's his name? Anderson would have done something.
yeah, it's
nope.
Anderson, Ashley / Caden, Tali, Garrus, Rex. Like they would all actually be doing things that are kind of like in connection to, and that should have been like a big help. You know, like this, like when you recruit them or when you meet them, it's like, by the way, Shepard, this is the stuff that I found out. Ah, cool, thank you. You know, nope, can't do that.
It's like, oh, if only you were here, Shepard, we could have done X, Y, Z. We only got ABC done. Now we can keep going. It's like, yes, good.
Yeah.
No, Tim has to build you a ship, bring you back to life, give you all the people for the ship, but you have to go find them yourself because he couldn't find better, cheaper versions. I don't know, maybe more expensive, closer. People say, hey, Reapers are a thing. You want to save the galaxy? It's like, what? What are you talking about? Crazy man with lots of money. Okay, yeah, we'll save the galaxy for $1 million. Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah. Why are we using Cerberus? Because they can do it on the cheap.
Yeah, it's like, what?
I still like the whole thing. I know I pointed this out, but I always like bringing it up. It's like Cerberus only has an annual budget of like 13 billion credits a year. So how on earth did they manage to afford Normandy's Element Zero core, which was like 150 billion credits alone for the Element Zero core, not the ship, just the core? It's like, how much debt did they get into?
Yeah, and that's the funniest thing. He just forgets about the ship. He tries to bring it back at the end of, or at the starting of Mass Effect 3. He just abandons it. It's like, don't worry. I'm off to go build a freaking army with my own ships. It's like, what?
Yeah, I can just do that. It's like, why should he do that? It's just self-defeating all over
What
the
was
place.
the point of Mass Effect 2, Tim? Please tell us. Anyway.
We get sick at first and then we adapt. It's our most important gesture of trust, of acceptance. I haven't trusted anyone enough for that, though, except, well, no Quarians. You know what I mean.
I appreciate the thought, Tali, and I feel the same way. But you don't have to prove anything to me.
I know. Well, not that I know, but I didn't mean it like that. It's wow, it's really hot in here.
How much you get to know your crew is up to you. If you take the time, you will be happy you did. These are some of the most memorable characters in gaming. From the best sniper in the Milky Way galaxy, and gaming's best friend, Garrus.
Shepard. I thought you were dead.
Garrus, what are you doing here?
Just keeping my skills sharp. A little target practice.
To the hard-hitting but loyal and trusted Grunt.
I'd never stab you in the back, Shepard. Warriors like you and me, straight to the face. Kidding.
To the Geth-turned-friend and fan-favorite Legion.
Are you asking to join us?
Yes.
Then what should I call you?
There are currently 1,183 programs active within this platform.
My name is Legion, for we are many.
Well, that seems appropriate.
Christian Bible, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 5, verse 9. We acknowledge this is an appropriate metaphor. We are Legion, a terminal of the Geth. We will integrate into Normandy.
To everyone's favorite engineer and the incredibly loved Tali.
I've never had anyone speak like that on my behalf. Thank you for being there for my father and me. Even when... Thank you.
Well, you can see.
Yes. All the characters are likable in some capacity aside from moments with Jacob. Yes, we get it. It doesn't make a good story. They just make an attractive story.
I always like that. All the characters are good in their own right, except Jacob.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of Jacob. I just can't. There's nothing there.
I know. He literally is just a cardboard cutout.
Like even Caden, as boring as Caden was, he at least had some character.
I remember because the original voice actor for him played Carth as well in KOTOR.
Yeah.
And he was more interesting.
Yes, by far.
Still go back in and get you exiled if you want.
Thanks, but I'm fine with things like this. It's fun watching you shout.
These are just some of the many large cast of characters that you will meet in your journey through Mass Effect 2. Shepard's crew is done of so much depth that many of them will feel as if they are actual friends.
Okay, I don't think they have depth, okay? They give them dramatic scenarios that they're in that they care about and are motivated by. That becomes their plot. So we care about what they want. That's it. That's normal. That's fine. The problem is it's not related to anything. This is why, in this scene, I believe this is the lair of the Shadow Broker, it matters to us because we know the value of that. This is about Shepard getting killed. Why did he come back? How did he get back? This is Liara's story. It explains the beginning or those 2 years that we lost. It somewhat connects to the first game with it being the Shadow Broker. We knew what the Shadow Broker was, which somehow connects to Liara being an asset in the fight against the Reapers. We don't know how. That's why I say skip Mass Effect 2 and just play Lair of the Shadow Broker and Arrival DLC, because that's all that matters in Mass Effect 2. Everything else you do in Mass Effect 2 is pretty much pointless. You could argue mail-in data, this or that, whatever. It's all about Liara and Arrival. Sadly, it should have been about Tali and Garrus, but dark energy, who cares? I don't know.
And you'll find yourself taking interest in their background and personality. The crew also has their own relationships with one another outside of Shepard's involvement.
Not really, no.
Enough. Stand down.
This is not a relationship. This is an arc. Oh my God.
The cheerleader won't admit what Cerberus did to me was wrong.
It wasn't Cerberus. Not really. But clearly you were a mistake.
If you play your cards right and make the crew feel as a family instead of mere co-workers, then you'll be pleased with all of your hard work paying off in one of the most well-developed endgame levels.
The one thing I do like is you could buy better rations for your crew. That makes sense. Better creature comforts, better this or that, better forms of entertainment. They didn't do enough of that. They didn't do enough of the RPG elements we wanted. And that's like, it had to feel like you're customizing your ship and making it just right for everyone, even though it's impossible to please everyone. That's the kind of effect I wanted. Instead, all we got were upgrades and we're done. There's no there's no social element to that. It's just, hey, thanks for buying the upgrades. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's like if, let's say, the Normandy was given to you back, but it was only a shell, and then you had to put the pieces in together from like the different corporations or something that you have to work with.
That would have really worked well with the whole gun licensing from the first game, where you had to get the license first, then you could buy the guns. The same with buying shield. The thing is, there's no gameplay element to shields or hardware or whatever. It's just an upgrade. You have better guns. It's like, well, is that more effective against a certain enemy? What does that mean? So there's no need for customization, and that's the problem. You wanted that. Like I always talk about Suikoden doing it better, because in Suikoden they have hundreds of characters. There's all kinds of characters, and you have to upgrade your castle to do this or that. And it doesn't make them more effective in battle, but you can upgrade their individual weapons themselves, as well as their runes. So they have their weapon they're equipped with, and the 1 or 3 runes they have on their bodies. So you can upgrade those. So that's at least something. In this game, it's just you get a different gun. And all the guns are unique. So it doesn't matter if it's better or this or that. It depends what you like, which is fine, but then you're not upgrading anything. You're just getting a different version of something, which could work, but it's just for gameplay. It has nothing to do with making them better. It's just making them more unique. And it defeats the purpose of stats, this or that, or having stats underneath the hood that you can't see. There's no need for that. And the whole bullshit with the cosmetic change of a black outfit is like, well, what are you doing, Garrus? Why did you get a brand new piece of armor? But it's the same as your old busted up armor. with a different paint job. Why did you like that's stupid? Or why does Jack get what does she get like a vest?
Yeah, she gets like a kind of like the opposite of a tank top because like, a tank top kind of like you have the big thing that cuts out, and hers is like the opposite of that. Yeah, there's probably an actual name for it, but I'm not a knower of things.
I know it's like you're in space. Put on a goddamn spacesuit. I don't care how strong you are, Jack. It's just stupid.
Biotic, son.
Yeah, same with Liara and her breather masks. Like, okay.
Oh, yeah, your eyes are going to be like popping out there.
Mass Effect 2's conclusion is every bit as brutal and personal as one could hope for, taking into account all your actions from start to finish.
I don't know what we're going to find in there, but I won't lie to you. It's not going to be easy. We've lost good people. We may lose more. We don't know how many the collectors have stolen. Thousands, hundreds of thousands. It's not important.
It's hundreds of thousands, Shepard. You have the numbers.
Yeah, which colonies went missing?
Matters.
Yeah. Like you've been tracking them all this time. We know the numbers.
Is this. Not one more. That's what we can do. Here, today. It ends with us. They want to know what we're made of?
That random shot of Joke.
Yeah, it's like, what? What?
At least
saying.
At least with like the original one of Mass Effect 1, like you see the crew like looking up and everyone's like getting ready and geared up. That would make more sense, but everyone's just kind of standing around the meeting going, yeah, Shepard, this is a really nice pep talk. Shouldn't we be like geared up and like arming up and what have you, No.
Well, that's the thing. They were kind of doing that when Shepard walks in the door with Jacob, like looking at his gun and whatever. It's like, that's a pistol. Like, what are you doing? We're in a meeting room. I know the armory's right outside, but what do you do?
Yeah.
I got the pistol to work better. Like, okay. Didn't I upgrade that like the first level of the game?
Oh god, if only they made it like characters would upgrade different weapons for you as well. Like having Jacob would upgrade rifles and Gareth sniper rifles or something. Like, wouldn't they have any opinion? It's just
well,
that makes sense.
Customization in an RPG? What are you talking about? That's crazy.
know. We're living in an impossible world.
You can't do that.
That's illegal.
These guns are retroactively changed. You can't upgrade them anymore. They're all unique.
And we got rid of biotic amps and tech on the
Yeah, who needs
like
amps?
well.
I don't need amps.
That was so dumb. We only changed the power system.
Armor sets are now a cosmetic with slight stat changes. Like, fantastic. That's great.
But only for Shepard.
Yeah. No one else. But all this armor, I spent all this credits just for me. So not my team. Like, Shepard, nice helmet. Where'd you get that? Oh, Spectres, privileges. Sorry, you can't have it. Got the N7 logo on it. You can't have it anymore.
That's the thing as well. Is that why isn't there just since we're being stupid? Why isn't there a Spectre logo? You know what I mean? Like, just go for it.
Yeah, no. I remember the mods people put in. They gave Shepard Spectre armor that Tele has. Televisor. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it looks good. I don't know what it does. I just like it's all cosmetic. Like, yeah, obviously there's some basic stats here and there, but it's minor.
On our terms. Let's bring our people home.
The final act can completely change depending on the preparation and choices of the player. If you go into battle without upgraded shields on the Normandy, then a crew member could die before the suicide mission even begins.
And why is Jack in engineering?
Why would hitting the side panel of the armor affect something? And I mean, like, I know that this is based on Star Trek and all consoles are made of explodium, but
yeah,
like, really?
Blow a hole in the top part of the ship, engineering blows up too. Like, what? Wow. The thing that Jack knows nothing about. Why would she be looking at console and engineering?
Yeah.
Where are the engineers? I guess the engineers are fine. I don't know.
Well, they got captured, remember?
Oh.
we need an engineer. Should we be looking for Tally or Legion? No, send Jack.
Jack, yeah, she's right there. That's all right. Yeah, okay. Now, where was Tally? Not in engineering?
See, that would have been good under this attack if, let's say, for example, you're suffering damage and you can go in, Tally, go over there, Miranda, go over there. You know what I mean? You're ordering people around to like man the stations in a skeletal crew kind of way. You know?
That would be great. It's like, man, instead they just put, oh, I'm going to be in engineering. It's like, that makes sense. But you know what? I need you to fix the hull because you're Quarian. You're awesome at fixing stuff. Like, okay, good idea. And you assign her to a mission, like, you know, a side mission. It's like, go over there and do this. So you can't take her out on quests. That makes sense. Wow. You're using the person for a specific task for whatever the suicide mission is. We still don't know. We're at the suicide mission. We have no idea what we're going to do. We have no idea what we're going to find.
I like the way of like how Tim doesn't even suggest of like capturing collector technology. It's only at the end where he's like, you know, it's if like he kind of goes, yeah, I've sent Shepard on that mission. He kind of goes, oh wait, hang on a minute, there's something I'm forgetting. Shit. Right, yeah, got it. What's Shepard's number again? Oh, one wait, ever.
Yeah, why can't they capture a collector alive? Why can't they do all sorts of normal things a typical person would think of? Like, okay, we have to understand our enemy. We have to analyze stuff. We have to get, you know, best live samples as much as possible. That would have been great. Bioweapons against collectors, all sorts of cool things. What did we get? A deterrent. We got a gaseous deterrent from Morden, I think. That was like
I think
countermeasure.
It was the electronic countermeasure against the swarms, but that was it.
We don't see it. We have no control. It's just this thing. Yeah, now you're fine. Yeah. It's like, what? That's it?
But the other thing as well is just that all we would have to have done was just sit outside of the Omega-4 relay, and then as soon as it pops out of its, comes out of the relay, we just hit it with the Phoenix cannon and just be like, bye! Gone.
They only come through this one door. Hey, here's an idea. Let's camp the door. Bring all your ships there. Just target anything that moves.
Yeah. It reminds me of that Stargate episode where I think it's like the replicator ship like pops out of hyperspace, but all like the Asgard ships are just waiting for it, and they just blow the shit out of it. It's like, we're not fucking around with you guys anymore.
Send the wrong character back to help escort survivors, they might not return.
Only if they're not loyal. That's it.
Yeah, random rockets to the face. Just, you know, you never know.
I wasn't loyal enough.
Damn it, Zaid! What are you doing? You're supposed to be amazing at catching rockets. Wait, that's Garrus. Sorry. That's why I should have chosen Garrus. Oh, he catches rockets, no problem.
And done a character that isn't loyal to you, they won't make it.
Some of them do. Some of them can work. The game works weird that way, but it does work it.
Mass Effect 2 is like a game of chess. All the moves lead to an eventual outcome.
Actually, sorry, that bit with the Seeker Swarms, it's like, why didn't Seeker Swarms just keep going? Why did they have to drag one of them? There's more than one.
It's a wave of air just coming at you. It's like, oh.
They would hit them in a massive wave and you'll be paralyzed. Like, what did the collectors have a sense of fair play? Like, what's going on?
One at a time. Take the largest object first, grunt, and we'll work on the other two.
Yeah, sorry, we need 50,000 things to pick up this big fat heifer of a Krogan. Even though we could just stun him and then leave him there waiting to be picked up. But hey, we're just Seeker Swarms that stun people and wait for people to be collected them. It's not our job.
Yeah. So yeah, playing Mass Effect 2 is like playing a game of chess where you have all the time in the world to make all the moves you want. How's that?
Yeah.
And if you win, it doesn't make any logical sense. How's that? That's pretty much it.
If you made a lot of mistakes and did not bond your team together,
you cannot make any mistakes. There are no mistakes in this game. You either do something or you don't. If you do something, you either do it blue or green or red. That's it.
The green comes later, though.
Yeah, the green comes later. There are no mistakes in Mass Effect. You can choose to put suicide mission. You could choose to put Miranda as the bubble babe or what have you. That's a mistake, I guess. Yeah. Either way, the game ends and you succeed.
Yep.
You always succeed. Even if you die, even if everyone dies, you still succeed. That's like saying, I lost all my pieces at chess. I still won the game. Okay. That's what it's like. Bravo. You've lost all of your pieces and you've still won the game. Congratulations.
It's checkmate, and they're all dead, including Shepard.
But Shepard's dead. What are we supposed to do?
We go on. This was a victory. Humanity will persevere. We are nothing if not resilient.
Atmosphere, story, and characters. These are all core pillars of Mass Effect. Yes, there are some mistakes in Mass Effect 2. The game is not perfect, but even with some flaws, none of them are able to detract from what makes Mass Effect 2 such an achievement.
Unless you turn your brain on and actually think and try to appreciate the craft of the game. And you go, hey, this doesn't make any lick of sense. Every moment as you go through, every plot point doesn't make sense. We found a new particle weapon that's on our backs. Maybe we should research it to use it as our ship weapons. Like, no, that's not smart.
Stop being smart.
Why don't we track the ship when it comes out of the Omega 4? It's like, no. Why don't we probe the Omega 4? No. Why don't we set up probes on every planet we explore to make sure nothing comes through this area again? It's like, no. Why don't we talk to the Citadel, get some help? It's like, no. The Alliance? No. Like, no one helps you.
That's always good, isn't it? It's like, you can ask the council for help. Okay, then I will. Okay, no help whatsoever, and we've completely reverted back to state zero. Thanks, BioWare.
How about the Alliance? No, they won't help you. How about any of the alien races? Nope.
Yeah.
No one helps you.
The STG group that you saved on Vermeer, anyone.
You'd think people from Mass Effect 1 would go, hey, wow, you're trying to save the galaxy. Let's go help. No one cares. It's like, what? What's going on?
Especially that endgame level. This video was not made to concentrate on the negative aspects, but rather to show BioWare why many of us fans love Mass Effect 2 so much, and maybe even attract new fans who have not yet experienced this game. Here, BioWare nailed down all aspects of the story RPG.
Okay, it's really, really important to nail down the story aspect of a game and the RPG aspect of a game. And if you don't do that, it's not a masterpiece. So if you don't talk about the bad parts, you can't talk about the good parts because you're missing a large part of the experience.
Yeah. It's like Dragon Age Origins has some problems, but it has a lot of good things as well. It's like,
And we're not denying there's good things. We like it for certain reasons, but there's all kinds of questions and all kinds of plot points and all kinds of retcons and things that don't connect, which cause problems in the storytelling and cause problems in the role playing. That you can't. We didn't want to focus on the negative. Well, you have to at least mention the negative. It's like saying, well, Statue of David's a masterpiece, but an arm might have been missing. I don't want to mention that because it's a negative flaw. It's like, well, did Da Vinci not make two-armed man? Like, what happened? Like, what? They get broken over time, and if it's broken, it's not a masterpiece anymore. It's kind of like, oh my god. Okay, I'm surprised we never see Conrad Werner leading a cult of Shepard with millions of followers. The man is cyborg space. Yeah, I know. That's one of the things I talk about in my Fixing Mass Effect series. I talk about there's a cult of Shepard that should have popped up. If Shepard is truly that amazing, there should be some sort of religion around him or some group of people following him, even just fanboys. And all we get is Conrad Werner. There should be all kinds of people.
I wouldn't mind it if, let's say, Shepard's death was actually a fake or a ruse or something like that, whereby to try and draw the enemy out or to kind of go, to basically kind of go, to make them more overt in their operations, more bold. They kind of go, all right, Shepard's out the way now, we can start doing more stuff.
Yeah. Like imagine Shepard didn't die, but Cerberus captured him and he was in a coma for, whatever long time to give the illusion that he was dead so that they can reveal themselves. So, oh, Shepard's gone. We have to worry. Let's come out. So all the villains come out and that gives them an edge. And then they realize, holy shit, these villains are really strong. Like the collectors. Let's bring Shepard back. Tim's like, you're our only hope, Shepard. We tried to bring out our enemy and they came out in force. We tried sending ships. We made armies. They've all been defeated. It's like, what? What the hell am I going to do?
Ironically, what if, let's say, the collectors were actually good guys actually trying to stop the Reapers?
Like
they
rebels.
Yeah, they were like a mysterious alien race. Like they weren't Protheans or anything like that, but they're trying to, like, they kind of know of the Reaper threat as well, but they're so mysterious and they actually capture Shepard and they're the ones kind of guiding Shepard. They kind of like reactivate Shepard because they're kind of going, yeah, the end is now nigh. We probably need this dude or dudette to basically stop this.
We escaped the Reapers long ago, or last cycle, or maybe 2 cycles ago. You're the only one who seems to know what's going on. We decided to save you and teach you what we know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because they're just they're just one ship. That makes get at least one ship on your side, and then you have to go back to everyone and garner the galaxy and do really evil stuff to get power, or diplomatically get stuff on your side. Oh God, you're giving a whole different flavor to. It's like, oh my God, it's so much more interesting now. We got characters who are evil. Wow.
Yeah, and obviously you could have some kind of, because they've been in space for that long, just like the Quarians, they're going to have genetic defects. So the only way for them to supplant that is if, let's say, they find races with similar genetic material, so they can literally copy. Like the who was that race now in Voyager, where they had to like literally harvest organs from other alien races to survive.
The
Vidians. Like imagine like that, but they're the ones helping you. But their only existence is if like Shepard's basically like doing these wrong dealings, like literally kind of going, I'm going to have to ignore that human colony, like, oh shit, to let them harvest it.
There could have been actual moral choices aside from turn off or don't turn on. It's just like, oh wow, as much as I like the Legion story, it's just there wasn't much to go with. So yeah, I mean it's kind of like paint by numbers for safety reasons to make sure everyone's happy. You're not stressing too much in the science fiction world. You're not doing too much in the RPG world. You're barely doing anything in the first person or third person shooter world. You're just coloring. You're just doing the bare minimum so everyone can play the game and have fun.
Well, this is the thing when people say things like, the combat's been improved. And as a PC player, like I played the PC version of Mass Effect 1, so a lot of the problems that people had from console, I never saw. So my opinion is going to be colored in that sense. So when I played Mass Effect 2, we got better particle effects and the kinetic visual impact of, round setting shields and things like that. But in terms of the actual under the bonnet HUD stuff that actually truly matters, it's completely dumbed down. Like it's gutted essentially. Like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you can't crouch during cover. I'm just like, who thought that was a good idea? It's a shooter. You need to be able to crouch manually. It's a staple. You have sniper rifles, but everyone has to stand around like a dipstick unless they're going against a chest-high war.
All right, I think this is it. Let's just continue, see what else he has to say.
And showed what they can do when they are at their best. If you have not experienced this game, then you're missing out on something special. Mass Effect 2 is a masterpiece.
All right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's all. Basically a fanboy reaction, no criticism whatsoever. This happens in the game. It's awesome. This happens in the game. It's awesome. It has a story. It has characters that you like. Therefore, it's awesome. You're like, okay. So understanding the context or why things happen, kind of hard to give it a gauge, give it a rating. You don't know what's going on here. Because when you say something is perfect, that implies no flaws. So, no. Characters are not perfect, or we would have liked them all. I certainly didn't like Morinth. I don't see why that was ever an option.
Yeah.
Even a Renegade Shepard would be like, this is crazy. Why would I even consider this as a squad mate? Lots of things happen in this story that don't make sense. Plot points. Everything to do with Tim telling you what to do, pretty much, which is the whole story. Why you get characters, why he spends money on this or that. There's lots of questionable elements, and there's no cohesive connection between them. They're just in their own little bubble. They're in their own little silo, and this happens, and then you buy an upgrade, and that's it.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. When speaking of which, like on the more grandioso level, it's like when you look at each individual piece, they're all separated, they're all individual, but at the same time, BioWare kind of realized as they were going through development, they went like, oh yeah, we need to make these choices somehow fit in, and they literally just got a square peg and started hammering that thing into the round hole as hard as they could. And that's the big problem, especially with Mass Effect 3, because everyone's like, oh, there's so many choices that they had to deal with. It's like, well, that's because you had two completely independent games that had nothing to do with anything. It's just you've ran out of time. You've bullshitted your way through this. You've gone through your high period, and now it's like the assignment now has to be completed. And now you're trying to lie. And I think this is actually just to kind of go a bit further more. And I think this is one of the reasons why BioWare can't actually make another Mass Effect sequel, at least in the Milky Way, because they can't lie anymore. They can't say your choices carry on over because there's so many choices now that it would completely destroy everything. They can't do it. They have to reboot it. So.
They have to retcon stuff. They have to tell another version or in another galaxy or do a precursor story. So.
Yeah, which isn't going to work because not being funny with Precursor, as much as like Deus Ex Human Revolution, which good game, it was still a bit too like predict it because the events have previously happened. It's a bit like, yeah, I know what's going to happen.
So yeah, we can say that it's the dark horse of the whole series. It's very special, as Matt Kruger 6 is saying. There are some great elements. There are some great ideas. It's the connection between these ideas that don't work. The retcons, the characters, the especially the suicide mission, as dramatic and fun as it was. I'm not saying it's not dramatic and fun. It does not make any sense. And the sense it does make is like, oh, look, glad thing we upgraded the shields. Then why is our hull still getting eaten apart? We still blew up the collector ship regardless of upgrading your weapons. Like all these dumb things that don't make sense. It just makes all the upgrades, all the good choices make your mission more efficient, but you still get to the goal regardless. So anyway, that was fun. We haven't done Mass Effect focused stream in a while. Thanks, guys. I'm sure you guys are loving the Mass Effect stuff since the beginning. So that's why you're still here, and we appreciate that. And I bring UDP up out of cobwebs every once in a while. So yeah, always good to talk about a fandom that I've long lost or I've long left, because really there's nothing left of BioWare at this point.
So you take a long drag of a cigarette, say, Mass Effect, that's not a name I heard in a long time.
Whoa, I got stories to tell you.
And every now and then BioWare's like, we're still working on the Mass Effect game. Like,
we're also doing Dragon Age. It's like, sure you are. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe another 10 years.
Yeah.
Before I die.
The fact that they rebooted the one Laidlaw was working on, and then it's just like, I wonder why he quit.
Yeah. Why did Mike
Yeah.
Laidlaw, the guy who would never quit for any reason, left?
Wasn't that Casey Hudson, like, who ordered that of the destruction of the previous Dragon Age when he took over?
Then Casey Hudson left. Why did that happen?
Casey Hudson left in 2014.
Yeah.
And then when he came back, he basically did the whole we need to focus on Anthem and get that out the door.
Yeah. Anthem.
You know, yeah. That's why Dragon Age had to get probably rebooted, because they just needed all the people working on it. You know?
Yeah. Well, who knows what they're going to do? No one has any idea what the rumors are of the remaster this year. Those are just, who knows, whatever UK shipment came to some GameStop. Like, who knows? We have no idea. I didn't talk about it because it's all rumors. So, but yes, thank you, Lit Devil. Yeah, Mass Effect is one of those love hatred kind of relationships, and why my channel exists and why you guys pay attention so much, because you like talking about it. We like talking about it. And I'm Canadian, so it's kind of like this. Oh, Canada, what have you done? Ubisoft. We have Rockstar, we have Ubisoft and BioWare. I guess Silicon Knights is still around, but who cares about them? So, yeah, sadly. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Sorry this went on for so long, but we tend to talk a lot. And hopefully we'll talk to you real soon. We'll have another Smudcast on non-Mass Effect content coming at you probably tomorrow, if not later tonight. I'll have to talk to the rest of the Smudcast crew. This is UDP and myself. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great evening.